All right. I think we're live. I don't know where it is. Let me refresh and I can post a link on Twitter. I don't see it. It's not popping up for me.
It says that you...
Oh, here it is. I got it.
Okay, I see it now.
Let me share the link. What's up, everybody? I'm going to share the link. Sorry about all the extra noises you're hearing because we're sharing one big mic. One big snowball. Let me put this on Twitter. Now. So this girl just replied to a guy who's one of my fans and making fun of another person, and she thinks he's making fun of me, and she thinks he's on the other side, like making fun of me, but he's not. He's one of my fans, making fun of him. He said, you hosted one side of the story, blocked the other side of the story. See, this is a problem. Then claim neutrality. All right. So this is a funny thing they keep doing. This was about ReignPlasma and BxBullet's drama. This isn't about just ReignPlasma or just BxBullet. This is about a story. The story is BxBullet is making all these claims about ReignPlasma. Obviously, other people are as well, and obviously her claims are an accumulation of other people's claims. But the thing is, we only are not allowed to hear Matt's side of the story. Anytime anybody tries to do a stream with Matt and get him to tell his side of the story, what happens? A whole slew of people come out and go, don't do that. Did you know what he did? I mean, yes, I know what he did, but I'd like to hear his explanation of that. You know what I'm saying? But BxBullet has a clip of him saying this. Okay, but for all I know, that could be out of context. Or even still, I could ask him what he meant by that. I could ask him, there's all types of things I can ask him that. Or I could hear from him like, oh, why did you admit that on the stream? Is that really how it went down? What, you know what I'm saying? Like, in the end, there's always another side to the story. And there's only one set of people that are telling you, only listen to this story. Don't listen to the other side. Whatever you do, you listening to the other side means you're a pedo, you're evil, blah, 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 which is 100% inconsistent and bullshit, right? So why is it people can only hear BX's side of this? Why? I don't believe in deplatforming, right? I'm not an SJW. The deplatformers are SJWs. You wanting people deplatformed is you being an SJW. I don't go by that topics. I don't believe in deplatforming at all, actually. I believe that deplatforming is up to the company that runs the platform, right? So if YouTube allows Matt to stream on YouTube and allows him to open a channel, Matt, what is wrong with me having him on my channel then? Exactly. If YouTube allows it, that means I'm doing everything within YouTube's guidelines, right? So where's the immorality in that? I don't understand. Also, giving someone a platform isn't necessarily a promotion. I've had enemies on my streams. I've had people call me out on Twitter, bitch about me, make claims about me, and I go, oh yeah, why don't you come on my stream and prove it, right? So if you think having Matt on my stream means that I'm his friend or I'm defending him or I'm promoting him, does that mean that when I challenge you, the people who have been against me in Twitter, right, this Ali chick and this other dude, when I challenge you to come on my stream, if you said yes and came on my stream, that means you're automatically my friend? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And now we're friends? Is that what that means? Because from what it seems like to me is that you don't like me and I'm your enemy and you would come in here to try to argue that I'm doing something immoral. How would that make us friends? You know what I'm saying? So none of these arguments are good. They're all terrible. No one can seem to make an argument against what I did. They just seem to keep lying and manipulating the situation, which makes total sense because BxBullet herself admits to being a manipulator. So I don't doubt that her audience thinks it's okay to manipulate people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm not the one manipulating anybody. I'm the one saying, listen to both sides of the story, guys. BxBullet has very public, very detailed side to her story. You can go on her on her YouTube, BxBullet TV. She has at least 3 or 4 videos on this. We've covered some of them on this channel. So therefore, on my channel, we have done her side of the story first. So when people are idiots and try to argue, hey, so you heard both sides, but you only had one person on and you were blocking people and you didn't have BxBullet on to tell her side. We covered her side already. The one side we didn't cover was Matt's side. So you came late and are making assumptions of what's going on, but you're wrong. We've been covering this for a couple months, and all we've had is BxBullet's side of the story to cover. This was the first time we were able to cover this story from Matt's side of the story. Exactly. In fact, we have way more hours and way more videos covering BX's side of the story than we do Matt's side of the story. In fact, we only have the hour and a half that he came on was the only time we were able to cover his side of the story. And BX's, we have four or five videos on her side of the story that are like 3-4 hours long each, some of them. You know what I'm saying? So to say that we're not being equal here, you're right, we're not being equal. We haven't given Matt enough time to tell his side of the story.
We've seen Base Centrist that had his own stream on Twitch. He has not very many, but he's a growing channel. He's a smaller channel. She got so worried about him talking to Matt on his own channel that she threatened with a cease and desist warning. But the thing is, she ended up contacting Base Centrist privately and saying, oh, I'll fill you in on what's actually happening and everything. And the information that she gave him was the exact same stuff that we've already looked through in the documents and the videos and all of that stuff. So having her on this stream here with us now is irrelevant. We're going to hear her repeat everything that we've already seen in videos, in the document, now she's calling it a diary. We've seen it all.
And then they also bring up, we blocked like 1 or 2 people.
It was
and they keep bringing it up and go, oh, you blocked victims. One, I want to say this really clearly. I don't give a shit if you're a victim of something else. I could give 2 fucking shits. It means nothing to me. There's no reason. You have 0 reason why I should even care if strangers are victims. They're fucking strangers to me. In fact, they came in with names with no avatar. You know what that means to me? This could be any fucking buddy. This could be you pretending to be a victim and coming in here. You know, how do I know? So you're coming in here. I have to trust random names that I have no idea who they are with no avatar. And I have to trust that they're telling me the truth when they say they're a victim. Oh, well, you were blocking victims. Well, honestly, what I was doing was blocking a random stranger with an account that's not very much used, I guess, telling me stuff that I have 0 ways of verifying, that I don't care about, and that we were already past in the conversation. When we got to that, when that happened, we've already explained it 3 times by the time he blocked them, and he kept repeating it. That's why I didn't block him. One of my mods blocked him, and my mods blocked him because they got annoyed that he kept repeating the same thing over and over again when we were telling him we're past that, and that's not what we're here for. He admitted to scamming people. He might have downplayed it. I made a disclaimer saying, well, whether it's a scam or not, they have it, they have proof that you've done some things. Whether it's a scam or not is here or there. That's for the police. That I don't care.
Right.
I'm not in charge of scammers. I'm not in charge of catching scammers. I'm not an activist who goes online and tries to catch scammers. That's not my job.
Yeah,
I don't do that.
I love how after we explain this all and say that the scamming, there's obvious proof that the scamming happened. But if you're not satisfied with with that being settled outside of court, pursue legal action. That gets turned around to be, well, now I need to fund that. So, why would that be something that you'd expect? What? I'm not a bank and I value my own money. I'm not a lawyer either, but I support your legal endeavor to get some justice that you want out of being scammed. But the main thing that I was more focused on was the bigger claim of him being a pedophile. a known pedophile, a known groomer, a known child exploitation
But one,
person.
The evidence of that is shoddy. It's not that good. She's gone to the police with it. The police say it's not that good of evidence, or at least at the most, the police aren't doing much about it. But even if all of that, this is what I say, even if all of that was true, it's still within moral framework to hear both sides of the story. Right? I don't care who it is. Both people are strangers to me. I don't have to trust one more than the other at all. No matter how much evidence or story they give me, I have free will. The public who watches my videos has free will. I am not an activist. I'm not here to tell you. I will say hi, Meta. Hi, John. I am not here to convince you guys of anything. I'm not here to talk you into against your own beliefs. I'm here to show you things and let you come to your own conclusions, right? So now, months ago, we run into this YouTuber, BxBullet, right? She beefs with people. She has a debate with Destiny. She beefs with Destiny. She has a debate with Hunter. She beefs with Hunter. She does a tweet that had to do with Mr. Girl. Mr. Girl gets banned on Twitch. People think it was because of her. She does this thing. She apologizes. He doesn't take it. She takes back her apology. So from our point of view, we run into this channel and all we're seeing is this girl starting beefs,
backtracking,
and then then backtracking and playing the victim every time. And she keeps playing the victim. Sometimes she's like half right. You know what I'm saying? Like the time with Hunter, she was like half right. But then
she's guilty of doing the same thing. So now it's like, I can't see your side more than the other when you're doing the same things too. So now you're both looking equally shady to each other. So neither is better in this whole thing.
In the end, we're never saying don't go listen to BX. No, we're saying go listen to her. We went through some of the proof with you guys on stream. If you want to go back and watch it, you can go on her channel. I'm not against her having an audience. Go, maybe you like her channel. Go check it out. Go sub. Go like. But in the end, her story is very public, and nobody, especially not me nor Chris, is saying, "Hey guys, don't listen to BX's story. She's this and that. She's a liar. She's a manipulator. Don't listen to her story." No. We are saying she's a liar and a manipulator, but that's just what we've noticed from her behavior. But we still say, go look and judge for yourself. There is only one side of this argument between us and BxBullet's community. There's only one side of this that's angry that somebody shared both sides of the story. There's only one side that's angry about that. We're not the ones angry about that. We're not going after anyone. They're coming for us. But they're coming for us because we gave the public access to hear two sides of the story. Now they say, oh, why didn't you give them pushback? Hearing someone's side of their story is not giving them pushback. That's a debate. I wasn't here to debate him on his side of the story. I was here to hear out his side of the story and give it to the public. Now, why did I do that? Because now the public has more information on this story. Now the public can go listen to BX's side of the story, and then if they want to, they can come to my channel and hear his side of the story. And the audience can weigh it out for themselves. I'm not telling you which side to believe. Weigh it out for yourself. For all I know, everything is right that's being said about Matt. For all I know, I don't give a shit, to be honest. All I give a shit about is the principle that we should be allowed to hear both sides of the argument. It's only when this all came from the Hunter thing, because with Hunter, her argument and thing that she went after Hunter for was, you're taking payment from my harasser and known child predator to make a video against me. And, for some reason he said, no, I'm not. Well, I was going to, and then I gave it back, which was stupid because his argument from the beginning should have been, yeah, and
who cares?
What's wrong with that? Why can't you're not my friend? I have zero loyalty to you. A random stranger comes to me and says, hey, I'll give you money to make a video about this person who I don't even like. Where's the expectation that I'm going to say no? Why should I? You're going around telling Hunter, tweeting about Hunter, saying Hunter cares more about the pedophiles than he does non-vax, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, who gives a shit? what do you think that sounds like? You're not putting it out there to be like, well, Hunter admitted it. He said this and that. You're not putting it out there for that, though. You're putting it out there to tell your audience, hey, this person is a pedophile apologist. That's what you're doing. And you know you're doing that. And then you get upset that he's going to make a video about you and someone's paying to. Who cares? He has no loyalty to you. He has no reason to not do something like that. You know what I'm saying? There's no morality broken in not doing that. He's a stranger. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, Hunter was even gonna give him pushback. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it would have been better and in your best interest to let Hunter do that. Hunter would have made money. Hunter would have gave him pushback. Matt would have been able to tell his side. BxBullet wouldn't have been able to hear the pushback. Also hear if this guy's lying contrary to her evidence so she could show that more. In fact, after our stream, BxBullet had put out a tweet saying, oh, Matt is going back on this thing. He's lying. He's going, I forgot what it was, but it had to do with the picture or whatever. Oh, he's going back on it. He's lying about it now. So shouldn't you be thanking me? Where's my thanks, Bex? Where's my thanks? You know what I'm saying? Where's my thanks? I just helped you get something else that you that from your perspective is more evidence that this guy's a liar and a manipulator. Yeah. Where is my thank you? Where is my, oh, I'm sorry, I was wrong telling you not to have this guy on. In fact, now I should change my ideas and I should let this guy go on whatever platform he wants because that's how I catch him and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's ridiculous. Like,
these people complain. It's as if we had BxBullet on first or after, that would have been better so that her voice is actually heard too. Like, for what? To hear the exact same things all over again, to have like over an hour or more of her dragging out the same things. Like, why would anybody torture themselves with that?
No, plus
you've already heard it.
Defeats the purpose. But
if anyone else hasn't heard it, go listen to it.
The entire principle is that there's only one side that's being shut out to the public. And that people are actively trying to shut out from the public. No side of a story, no matter how grotesque, no matter how disgusting, no matter what, no side of a story should be hidden from the public. The public should be allowed. This is taking away agency. This is taking away free will. This is manipulation for you to say, only listen to my side of the story. Don't ask him what he was thinking. Don't ask him what possibly this image is that I got of him as evidence. What possibly could have come before or after that? Never ask him any of those things because you hearing that side of the story is immoral for some reason. Why?
BX has a new segment now, Deprogramming with BxBullet 101, or however she numbers it. How do you have a deprogram segment and you're out here wanting people to only hear your side and your side only? Aren't you going to be looking into your deprogramming segments and saying, oh, only this one side has been shown? I don't know if we can formulate this whole thing. And I know she would say that because she even admits it's hard to formulate the whole conclusion when you only see one side. Convenient that she can make that logic, but she can't apply it to herself in her own situations. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, and a funny thing, that American Patriot guy that follows her and came to me said something like, oh, what was it? Like something like, damn, man, we've had so many tweets, it's going to be hard to find now. But he says something to the extent of like, why do I need to hear his side out when she has video evidence of him saying it himself? Like basically saying his side is being heard. You know what I mean? And I'm saying, no, his side is being heard through her. That's still her side of the story. She's still painting what he said into her narrative. I want to hear his narrative. Nobody's allowed to hear his narrative when it comes to them. When it's BxBullet and her community, no one is allowed to hear Matt's side. They do not want you to hear it. If you have a platform and you're like, I've looked into this BxBullet beef and I've seen hours upon hours of her side. I'm gonna put this on the screen because it's funny, because these people don't know us, but some of you guys know us, and you're gonna find out why this is funny. And the people who do know us and know what we look like are gonna find this real funny. Let's put this on here. Share screen. Yeah, here we go. Let me widescreen this. So she said, So she posts this picture, portrait of obese Caucasian couple. First off, here's how funny this is. Okay, I'll admit it, alpaca are bigger people than me. First off, I'm 5'6" and like 125 pounds. Chris is like 5'3", 5'4", and probably weighs less than I do by a little bit, or about the same, right? We're both short and skinny. Like I say, we're fat. And then secondly, I'm not Caucasian. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm Latino. You know, like my mom is from Peru. My dad is from the Dominican Republic. I'm not Caucasian. So this becomes extra funny how this is like childish. I think everybody's been through this. This is that childish Twitter make fun of people. You have no idea who you're talking to, but you're going to call them fat. You know what I'm saying? And then when you tell them, oh, you're an idiot, I'm not fat. And then they're going to go to the next thing. Oh, well, you're bald. I'm not bald. Oh, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like throwing things at a wall and trying to see what sticks.
Let the child throw the fit. She's just having a day today. So let her have her temper tantrum fit.
I offered her to come on and explain to us what she thinks we did and what's so bad about it, you know? But they don't have an argument for that. Everything they come at us with is, you're doing this, you're doing that, things that we haven't done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I call them liars, because they retweet us after like, listen, there's been like 2 days of us telling them, no, we're not promoting him. We're not. Listen, this is what's even funny about the not promoting him thing. Watch my stream with this guy. Not once did I say where you can find him. In fact, I call him ReignPlasma in this stream and the other one. I don't even think he goes by that name anymore. I'm not even sure what his Twitch is. I asked him during the stream, I told him, I don't even know what your content is. So for you to say that I'm defending this guy, that I'm supporting this guy, I don't know him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All I did was give him a place to tell his side of the story. There is nothing wrong with that. It's not immoral. I challenge you to come on stream and tell me why it's immoral to give someone a chance to tell their side of the story when there's only one side of the story out there, and that side of the story is telling you not to listen to the other side. What's wrong with that? Why is that immoral? In no way did I say anything he did is a good thing. In fact, I said some of those things are bad things. And in fact, I told him to stop being offensive and only be defensive. Whether he listens to me or not is up to him. You know what I'm saying? And then when I said I was streaming today, what did this girl say? Oh, you're going to bring your friend, blah, 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 and says all his like accounts and stuff. He's not my friend. No, I don't know him. How many times do I have to tell people I don't know him? I don't know this guy. I didn't bring him on because he's my friend and I wanted to promote him and I want to know him. Yeah. I brought him on because every time I wanted to hear his side of the story, some huge drama happened. And this stream right now is the proof of that. This stream that I'm doing right now is the proof that if you try to hear a story from the other side of BxBullet's story, right? BxBullet is accusing this guy of something. She has a whole Google Doc of a shit ton of evidence and narrative and stuff. Much. You can go look at it. There's screen caps, there's videos, there's audio. Go listen to it. Go check it out. If you're that interested, go do that. I would never hide that side of the story from you. In fact, BxBullet is the one changing the Google Doc, and she's now gotten rid of the original Google Doc that we went over, and now there's a new one. So if anything, she's the one hiding parts of the story. She's the one telling you can't listen to the story. You can't even now. I don't know if the old Google Doc is still up as well. But if it isn't, then she's the one saying you can't look at my old evidence, only look at my new evidence. We're saying look at everything. Look at his side, look at her side. This is a beef between two people. Listen to both sides of the beef. You know, what it seems like to me is this is team sports. Yes. And these people are team BX. So anybody who maybe doesn't like her or anybody who is going to platform the person that she's beefing with is now the enemy, right? And it's now, oh, you did this, you did that. No, I just wanted to hear a guy out. I actually could care less about your beefs. The thing I care the most about the beef is that for some reason, one side can't be listened to. Yeah. And that's immoral to me. You know what I'm saying? So this is why I challenged anyone. If you want to come on and try to argue with me about what I did being immoral, I will argue to you back that not only is what I did is not immoral, but it is actually moral.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is team anybody. We are Reign's victims. Well, that's your fault. That's you being a victim. What does that have to do with me? Like, what does you being a victim have to do with? Why won't you listen to? Because I don't care about you. Listen, you being a victim has nothing to do with me. What does it have to do with me? I had him on because his side of the story is said not to. Nobody is telling you, Joe. Nobody is telling you can't tell your side of the story. In fact, has BxBullet have you on? Okay, it's our fault for being. No, I'm saying it's your fault. You have to do it. That's your concern, not my concern.
Yeah,
Joe, wait. Joe, have you been on BxBullet's channel? Let me ask you that. Have you been on BxBullet's channel? Have you been on BxBullet's channel? I'm gonna block you if you don't answer my questions. Have you been on BxBullet's channel, telling your side of the story?
Because so far she's been telling victims to stop DMing her. So I don't. Have you explained yours?
You said you're okay. Well, I'm gonna block you because you're not answering my questions. I'll give you one more chance to answer my question. Have you been on BxBullet's channel telling your side of your story? No. Okay, so why don't you go bother her to be part of the story? What do you have to do with us? But what am I screenshot? Okay, then your side of the story has been told. Yeah. We never told anyone not to go look at that. You know what I'm saying?
Anybody that's come to us explaining this on Twitter that they've been a victim of scamming, I support you 100%.
Are you threatening to ban me? Because I ban anyone I want whenever the fuck I want. It's my platform. I do it all the time. You're new to this channel, but I do that every fucking live stream. I ban whoever the fuck I want whenever I want. I don't do this channel because, hey guys, check me out, I'm awesome. I do this channel because it's my hobby. This is my living room. I don't give a shit who you are, what you're doing here. You know what I'm saying? If you want to argue that I did something immoral, go for it. But if you want to come here and say the same things over and over again, I don't care. If you want to have a discussion, I will ask you questions. I will answer your questions. But if you're going to dance around it, why do I need to? I don't even know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Who are you? How do I even know that you're actually a victim? I don't know any of that. The thing you can do, though, is no one is telling you. No one is allowed to hear your story. You literally can go. Well, that's why I have 9. Exactly. So you get it. So if you get it, why are you acting this way? You just agreed with us and understand what this channel is. But now doesn't make any sense. But listen, if you want your side of the story to be told, no one is saying you can't start it. Like if you started a YouTube channel called Joe Haverson, I was scammed by Matt, and you start putting out that channel, I'm not going to be the one going around telling people, don't listen to that channel. Anybody who listens to that channel is a pedo and blah, blah. I'm not the one doing that. You know what I'm saying? The point of having him on to tell his story is because no one allows anyone to let him come tell his story. Because when they do, everybody calls you a pedo apologist. They say you're defending him. They say you're doing that. Meanwhile, all I'm saying is, I'd like to hear his side of the story, whether I believe it or not.
One tweet,
you know what I'm saying? And then hold on. But then people come and say he's scamming. We were already past the scam part. The scamming part isn't even part of what we're doing. I never said that.
One person came back in response on Twitter and said, but we've already heard his side from BX. And, that's great that she's added his side in there to all of her documents, because some things she's selectively left out. But we wanted to hear with his own voice. I don't want somebody else retelling what he did. I want him to answer these things and talk about them with his own voice. Bro, turn your volume down. Stop bitching or I'm going to time you out. Okay? Like, fix your own shit.
How are you yelling at? All right. I'm going to not time him out.
I'm always the one being said, I'm talking like a mouse, and now I'm yelling today.
Here we go. Remove user. Is that it? Yeah. Later, Joe. So wait, when did I defend the child? Oh, this guy. See, this is what I'm talking about. How
what was left out was the whole context of the screenshots that she's sharing. Which
but if you're interested,
we're leaving out that he's telling people in his Discord, if you send nudes, you're gonna be banned. Somebody else says, send them my way, and that person saying send them my way is viewed as him for some reason.
No, well,
These are
it
different
doesn't make
people.
any sense because he's saying, I'm interested. If you're interested, then go do that. I'm not even, I just said earlier, I'm not even interested in this beef. My interest in this beef is that I'm not allowed to hear a certain side of it.
Right.
That's my interest.
Example, but
Nobody is saying this Joe guy can go on any channel he wants and tell his side of the story. Nobody goes after him, right? Say if Joe went on, and let's say Joe goes on BxBullet's channel and goes live to tell his side of the story of being scammed. We're not the ones who are going to be in the on Twitter or in the chat saying, how dare you have this guy on? He's a liar. He's a blah, blah, blah. We're not going to be the ones doing that. That's the point, is that when we want to have Matt on, all of a sudden, you guys are doing this. You guys are doing. No, we're not. We just want to hear a side of the story.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? I don't care if he's a pedo. I don't care if he's a serial killer. I don't care if he's a stalker. I want to hear his side of the story. I'm not promoting him. I never even once said in the stream where his channel is, where to find him. I didn't even tell you his Twitter name. You know what I'm saying? If anything, the person being promoted on that stream was BxBullet. Because I said, hey, guys, go check out BxBullet TV on YouTube. She's on YouTube, she's on Twitter, she's on Twitch under the same name on all three of those. She has her side of the story. Go listen to that. You know what I'm saying? Go listen to that, listen to this, and judge for yourself. That's what I said. Now, people twist it and they say, you defended this guy. You're promoting this guy. How dare you platform this guy? I'm not anti-platform. First off, if you're going to tell me that I'm doing something wrong by platforming somebody, the first thing you got to do is argue with me why it's immoral for me to platform somebody. That's the first thing you got to do. Before you can even say that I did something wrong for platforming somebody, you got to explain why platforming in general is immoral. I don't think it is. I think people are allowed to tell their side of the story, whether it's a good one or a bad one, whether they're lying or they're telling the truth, because the public deserves to hear every side and decide for themselves. And I don't think that's a principle many people disagree with. And I know there's not a lot of people watching, but if any of you in the chat and agree or disagree, let me know. I mean, what's the problem with hearing every side of a story?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to know every side, or you might be missing something, and you don't know if you're missing something unless you hear every side.
Keeps turning around saying that we're harassing her or just insulting her out of nowhere. We're not doing any of that.
No, we're criticizing her personality.
Exactly.
Here's an example. If Joe Biden, or let's say Marjorie Taylor Greene, she puts out a tweet, and let's say she's not in office anymore or something, right? So she's not a person in power. So you could say, oh, but it's a politician. But let's say she's not a politician anymore, right? And she tweets something stupid, and she blocks me. And what is wrong with me screen capping what she said, posting it on my Twitter, and giving my opinion on what she said?
Exactly.
So if BxBullet puts out a public statement, why can't I, or why is it an attack or anything? Why can't I give my opinion on what she's saying or how she's saying something? She's telling me, not directly, but indirectly in general, she's telling me, don't listen to this guy's story, no matter what you do. Only have you looked at my evidence? Yes. Oh, and there's a big lie that comes with this, and they all do it. Her and her whole community did the same thing to me. And I noticed they did the same thing to base centrist, but they're lying when they do this. They say, how dare you have him on without looking at all the evidence? And then you say, okay, I looked at all the evidence. And then do they say, all right, now you can have him on? No, they don't say that. Mm-hmm. In fact, they get more angry and they find something else to get you to not stream about it. You know what I'm saying? And they go, hey, oh no, well, you read it and you're still gonna have him on? Well, you're an idiot. Yeah. You're a pedo apologist. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, I just read it and I still want to hear his side of the story. In fact, there's almost nothing you could have told me about this and still have me not want to hear the other side of the story. Yeah. Like you could have told me he murdered someone's dog. Then I would have had him on and I would have said, hey, is it true you murdered someone's dog? What happened in that situation? Tell me about it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you still got to know. You can't just assume you know everything about a story when you're not hearing at least one side of it. Like, how can you just listen to one? This is what the part that baffles me the most about this is that there's two sides to every story, and listen to like both sides of a story is the most basic of basic principles. You learn this when you're like 6 years old. When I was like 4 or 5, me and my brother got in a fight. And what happened? My mom came to me. I had bruises, and I said, "Oh, he hit me and he did this. Look at the bruises." What did my mom do? Did she just go over and start smacking the shit out of my brother? No, she went, "Oh, what happened? Why is he bruised up? What happened? Did you hit him? What happened?" You know what I'm saying? She didn't just believe me. And I go, "Don't listen to what he says. Look at the evidence. See, that's the size of his hand, that bruise. Don't listen to what he says at all. Just go punish him."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well, you'd be a terrible parent to just go over and start punishing that kid. You have to listen to the other side and ask, "Well, what happened? He's saying you hit him. Did you hit him? What's your story?" And then they could both be lying to you still. What you have to weigh out their stories and try to figure out who you think is right with the evidence. But in the end, they could both be lying. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? The truth could be somewhere in the middle of both of them, you know? But you'll never know that unless you hear both sides of the story. And there's no argument that they have given me that changes anything I just said right now. Everything I just explained right now, there's nothing that they have ever said that turns that back and makes that a bad argument.
I am also curious who BX thinks she is, like, related to us. Like, how does she think that we're associated with her in such like a friendly manner where we're supposed to be asking for like if this is okay to be talking about first before we go and talk about it? I've never had a private conversation with BX. I'm not friends with her. Why do I need to ask permission? I've never asked permission before tweeting at somebody or talking about something. So it's just that part's like confusing.
This is my response to this. He says, see, this is what they keep saying, which is not true, right? Thought it was a typo or whatever. Be more specific. Alphas, which my name's not Alpha, my name's Alf. Also, defending an alleged child predator. You notice he puts alleged there. So already by in parentheses putting alleged already justifies the defense. But this is what's funny. I'm not even defending this guy. All I did was give him the opportunity to share his side of the story. I never even said that his side of the story was true. Right. They were like, "Oh, you accepting his lies." No. When I was saying okay, when I was going, that's me acknowledging that I heard his story. Yeah. That wasn't me verifying his story. I in no way can verify his story. All I could do is give you all sides of the stories, give public access to all sides of the story, and then the public can decide what they think of it, what they think the conclusion is. Go any way you want. I'm not even telling you to choose BxBullet's side or Matt's side. Choose any side you want. Yeah. I don't care. Stay neutral. I don't care. The only thing I did was give an opportunity to hear a side of the story that everyone was saying is taboo to listen to. So that's why I told this guy right now. See, I don't care. And I'm sorry if you're a victim. That has nothing to do with me. Yeah. I didn't victimize you. So why are you coming to me? There's nothing I can do about you being a victim. I'm not the police. I'm not a journalist. I'm a guy with like 3K subs on YouTube who gets 9 to 10 people to come watch me live. Granted, my edited videos do a lot better, and I get like, triple, quadruple my subs watching it. But my live streams don't get a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And in fact, this BxBullet drama is actually like the lowest view counts we get and stuff, which is also an extra layer of surprising of why do they care so much? Exactly. If it's only like 8 people listening to it, why do they care? This is what makes it even more suspicious. Everything they do tends to make this story even more suspicious. Like that base centrist guy, he is a Twitch channel with 9 followers. When we showed up, he had 7 followers. 2 more people had done, and you know what was funny? It was only 4 people watching. 4 people watching at the moment.
And she sends a
9 followers.
And desist thread.
And what does BxBullet do? She comes in the chat and goes, "I'm warning you. This is a cease and desist." This is not me lying. This is not me manipulating. This is not me saying bashing on BxBullet. I'm expressing what she did publicly. Yeah. I'm not making things up. I'm not saying, look, if she wants to defend her actions, she 100% can. I'm not I'm only giving my opinion on it. And my opinion on her personality. If she wants to give an opinion on my personality, feel free. BxBullet, you want to make videos on me? Feel free. Yeah. I'll just make response videos back. It's not a big deal. But when when I put things out publicly, I understand that is up for criticism. What anybody out there is allowed to criticize any of my videos. If you want to come to me and go, you pick on TYT. Look, I'm kind of on the left, right? I'm center left. I'm an old school Democrat. I consider myself to be on the left. I'm not an SJW left. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a far left. I'm not a progressive. I want progressives out of the Democratic Party. So, but what do? My cut up video, my supercut videos are videos on TYT. Yeah. Right? Wouldn't people, it is a clear criticism people can make of me, and I know it can, to say, if you're on the left, why are all your videos attacking the left? And guess what? We can have that conversation, and I could defend why I do that. You know what I'm saying? And I can make arguments about it. What I don't do is make an enemy out of you, or have people bash you or say all these things, or twist it to a way to say, this guy's lying about me. He's saying all I do is make lefty videos against lefties, blah, blah, blah. When you can literally go on my channel and see that I do make a lot of videos against lefties, you know, it is true. I do have some videos against righties too. But for the most part, I call out the insane people of my own side because I want to fix my side. I'm not so much against the right as I am wanting the left to do better. You know what I'm saying? That's a totally different thing. The right, you know, they deal with the right. It's funny to say if you're on the left, you can only fight against the right, because I want my side to be better. If I don't fix my side, how can we win against the other side? You know, it doesn't make sense.
Programming people on the right to come over to your side on the left, like is what BX is doing. And that's why I make fun of it. And if that's seen as harassment or insulting too, I don't care. It's funny to see you thinking that you can deprogram people and convince them to be persuasively manipulated with your social engineering to buy your bullshit that you're passing off as expert criticism.
You actively censor his victims in your chat. I don't consider blocking censoring. If you guys think blocking is censoring, you're dumb. YouTube allows you to make your own channel.
There is nothing
I can't possibly censor you. The only person that can censor you on YouTube is YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I can't censor you on YouTube. I can't go and there's no button for me to click in the chat right now that says this person's not allowed to open a YouTube channel. This person's not allowed. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna ban. Oh, you said that in my chat. I'm gonna ban you from opening YouTube channels. You can literally, you are not being censored. Go make a YouTube channel and start your stream right now and tell people to go listen to you. In fact, tweet me and tell me the link to your stream and I will promote it for you. You know what I'm saying? But in my chat is my living room. If I don't want you there, I grab you by the collar and I drag you out of my living room. It's as simple as that. Super simple. Yeah, but this is what I'm saying, is that the arguments are garbage against it, right? So you actually, okay, then you constantly seem to pester people about how you're neutral. I didn't pester anyone. Here's another lie.
Pestered in this person, and this person thinks that they're pestered.
I'll say this back.
They're pestering themselves, because we've explained more than once how we're neutral. There's nothing more to say to that. Saying I support your legal pursuit, if you feel wrong for being scammed, go do that. I'm not paying for it. I'm not going to represent you in court because I'm not a lawyer. But I support your legal endeavors. Like, there's nothing else to fucking say.
About it? Yeah. I didn't pester anyone.
If anyone is being pestered, they want us to say that we feel pestered.
I've said has been in reply. You actively are on Twitter talking about promoting. I didn't promote any. Well, how if you want to say promoting the child predator story, I will still say that is moral. And in fact, television is filled with promotions of child predator stories. When I was growing up, there was a movie called I Know My Name is Steven. It was the true story of a child who was kidnapped by a child predator. And guess what that movie did? It told the story of a child predator. You know what I'm saying? Was that immoral? Is that movie immoral? Should we start banning any movie that tells the story of a child predator?
They are going to
Right?
say yes.
So
They
no.
are going to say yes. But you know, the funny thing is that the 17-year-old using herself to instigate people that she thinks are pedophiles to engage with her, I think is an actual fan of ReignPlasma, and she was involved with his community or something like that. She mostly watches his streams whenever he's now streaming and stuff like that. She's not. I don't think she is very up to date with what BxBullet has said herself, which is even about the scamming stuff. Complaining about the scamming stuff BX does to cops again recently, and they say if it's not being pursued outside of court and they squared it away outside of taking legal actions, there's nothing to charge anybody with. She doesn't even hear that shit and thinks that we're promoting ReignPlasma. Meanwhile, she's got his Twitch, his Twitter, any YouTube channel, any social media accounts that he has. She's plugging all of that. So good for you for promoting him, a child predator. Like, that somebody that you think is a child predator. We're saying go listen to BX. Go listen to BxBullet TV on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter and in her document diary, blah, blah, blah. It's all BxBullet TV. Same handle for everything. Go listen to her if you haven't already heard and are up to speed with everything.
Need to promote. Let me know. Instead of being actually neutral, I am neutral. What are you talking about? See, so this is the arguments they give me, right? And it never works. So again, with this one, saying he's admitting that it's an alleged child predator, but this is something that I noticed from BX, and this is why another reason why this became very suspicious. But they interchangeably use alleged or don't, right? One day they'll say, oh, you're defending an alleged child predator. Then you talk to them for a while, and then all of a sudden it's, you're defending a child predator. Those are two different things. An alleged child predator and a child predator are two completely different things. Don't even try to conflate them. This is why your arguments suck, because you conflate things. This is why BxBullet's proof kind of sucks too, because she conflates the stuff she has solid proof for with the stuff that she has very loose proof for.
And has to admit herself that she has no proof of this.
Right, and literally states that she doesn't have enough proof for it, but will still come out and call him those things.
Yeah.
And if you watch her first video, I'm not lying about this. We covered it on one of our streams. If you watch one of her first videos, it starts off with her calling him an alleged child predator, right? Maybe it was the word alleged or supposed, one of those two, right? Then it went to accused child predator. Halfway through the video, now she's saying blah blah, and then talking to the accused child predator. So all right, so first it's alleged. Now you're saying he's accused. The person accusing him is you. You know what I'm saying? Which is funny. Yeah. But when you say accused, it seems like you're talking about multiple people. Why was he alleged then before, now accused? And then later on, she drops. Oh, and then later on, I was gonna say she drops the honorific, but instead she actually says known pedophile at the end. So now it went from, in the same video, I promise you, it goes from alleged to I was saying, can I tell Meister, hey, are you banning Matt's victims? Yeah, I'll ban any victims. You're not victims of me, so why should I care? So why should I care? Not a good story. But Alyssa or Alicia, whatever your name is, if you want to come on, I can send you the StreamYard link, and you can come on here and try to plead your case on how what I did is immoral. And I bet you will lose that debate. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're 6 or 45. I don't give a shit how old you are. You're old enough to come talk shit. You're old enough to get debated. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Then you're old enough to debate and plead your case, No. Yeah, go ahead, type it. I don't give a shit. But don't expect quick answers then, because we're going to be talking a while. Yeah, because we're going to be talking a while.
We're doing our own thing too.
They seem to not have an argument, right? There's the argument I'm having with this guy. Like right here, you admit in this tweet you don't care about the victims. Correct. I do not care about the victims. I'll repeat it 1,000,000 times. They are not my victims. Why should I care about people's victims that aren't mine? If a lady 10 blocks from me got scammed out of $1,000, what does that have to do with me? I feel bad for her. Oh, well, sorry, old lady, but I'm not going out of my way to run over there and go, hey lady, who took it? I'm gonna go get them. I'm gonna find justice for you. I'm not an activist. If you're an activist, that's fine. Be an activist, but I'm not an activist, and don't treat me as if I am. So don't come at me when I don't care about victims, because I don't. There's no expectation for me to care, you know?
And that's exactly what BxBullet did, saying that there's a Facebook group that ReignPlasma is now scamming people out of. So while we're talking about him, we see that she's on a stream on her Twitch, and she calls the police complaining about him doing some scamming thing. And the police tell her themselves, if the issue has been dealt with outside of court, meaning those people got their money returned, and they're now not filing any legal action, there's no reason for it to go to court. There's nothing to convict the person with. That issue has been dealt with outside of court. We've explained this so many times, and that seems to be like, oh, now we're defending him? No, the issue has been resolved on its own. Nobody cares about the scamming anymore.
No, but see, this is the funny part, right? And I'm going to say it again. And we've said this multiple times. It just keeps going in circles and circles. Everything that she typed right there, and I'll read it out, right? Yeah. Matt got caught scamming and sexually harassing young girls and boys. And he also got GTOT nudes for collateral SP. I don't know what that even means. And sent them to other people as revenge when they left. Then he asked the rest of us to threaten and harass people. He did that too. No, it had, okay. What part of that wasn't already public?
Yeah.
Wasn't already a public story. This is why I didn't need to cover that, because I've covered it multiple times. Alicia, I don't know if you know this, but we did 4 or 5 3 to 5 hour videos on BxBullet's side of the story.
Yeah, yesterday was the first time.
Not only that, we went through her entire Google Doc. We went through all of her videos about this. We talked about it separate from watching her videos about this.
Her Twitch stream.
We saw her side so much, and we never heard Matt's side. And anytime a streamer tried to put out Matt's side of the story, what happened? People like you, people like BxBullet come out, oh, how dare you platform him, blah, 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 blah. How can we hear his side of the story if you don't let it be told?
Yeah.
Like, why can't we hear it? Like, I don't understand that. What is your argument of why can't, do you get any proof? Why do I need proof from Raiden? Let's start there. Here's where we continue. You asked me a question. I'm asking you, what is the expectation or moral value of me asking for proof from him? And this is where we'll continue the argument. Because why do I need proof of anything he said? I didn't verify anything he said. I didn't say anything he said was true. I'm not his platform. YouTube is. Matt can easily start his own YouTube channel. I bet you any money it would not be hard for him to get 9 people to watch him, just like he would on my channel, and tell the same exact story. And what are you going to do? You're going to go to YouTube? YouTube's going to tell you, too bad, he didn't do anything wrong. BxBullet had evidence, and you should... No, BxBullet has evidence, and we showed that evidence. We showed people where to get that evidence. BxBullet shits on herself. All we did was talk about how she behaves. We didn't say... we didn't shit all over her to shit all over her. She is a public figure. The way she acts is open to be criticized, just like you can criticize us. We're not telling you not to criticize us. If you want to think we're pedophile apologists and stalkers, go for it. But every time you say it publicly, I'm going to defend myself. If she wants to defend herself from my criticisms, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's literally nothing immoral about me giving my opinions on how somebody public behaves. Yes, Raiden is a public figure. Correct. That's why he should be allowed to be heard. He lied about the police. I don't care if he lied about the police. That's up to the public to decide. I'm not the one who tells people what is true or not. No, okay. No,
all right.
None of this are arguments. Can we get back to the argument, Alicia? Like you're moving away from the argument.
Yeah, you came in a little late. You were just saying that BxBullet is right on some stuff, and that stuff being the scam.
Wait. Or your whole thing is based on a lie. What whole thing? What is based on a lie? What's the whole thing that's based on a lie?
No, we didn't say anything about that.
I didn't say that. That's his side of the story. I didn't say the police dropped it. I did say people went to the police and the police didn't do anything about it. To the police and they cleared him. I didn't say that. When?
Said that.
Can you show me when I said that? I said they didn't do anything about it. That doesn't mean there still isn't an open investigation or it's closed or even if they did clear him, clearing him doesn't even mean that he's innocent. You know what I'm saying? People who are guilty are cleared all the time. What are you talking about?
I was explaining the scamming situation that if it's been resolved outside of court, there is not going to be any further legal action, as in that's not going to go to court unless you or somebody else that's been a victim of scamming.
And that's up to the law. That's not up to us. We don't decide whether people were scammed or not. We're not the deciders of who was scammed or not. That's not what we do.
To BX by a police officer who she called, explaining that he's still scamming people to this day, and that may be happening. However, the cops explained to her that if those people are not going to pursue further legal action, as in it's been settled outside of court, there is nothing to pursue in a courtroom. If you want to sue him, go do that. You turned around and you asked me for $20,000. I value my money. I'm not going to throw money at you. Did you stop to think that maybe it's the best not to interfere with victims? And
I did not interfere. Nope. Wrong question. Prove to me that I interfered with any victims or witnesses in any active investigation. That never happened. All I did was do the same thing that YouTube would do, is give Matt a space to tell him his story. If Matt signed up for YouTube right now, pressed live, and said the same things he said on my stream, there is nothing you would be able to do about it. You would not be able to report it to YouTube because he said nothing on my stream that's reportable. I did nothing that's reportable. I'm not giving Matt the platform. Really, it's YouTube giving him the platform, right? Because he's not banned on YouTube.
You know,
just say you don't like child predators. What? I don't like child predators. What does that have to do with anything?
You keep on accusing.
Nobody ever even asked us if he did or not. Like what? I don't know that to be true. And whether he did or not, he still deserves his side of the story to be true. Look, everyone deserves to. This is the basic principle you learn when you're like 6 years old. There's two sides to every story. Every single human being, even Adolf motherfucking Hitler, even Charles fucking Manson, even John Wayne Gacy, who murdered and molested over 60 young boys, deserve to have their side of the story told. And they do. You want to see telling his side of the story? Go on YouTube and look it up, and you're going to find an interview with him. You want to hear any child molester, predator, if they're famous enough and you want to go look it up, you can hear their side of the story. If you want to go, well, then I discussed you. I don't care if I discussed you. Who cares? But everybody, then why put him on and help him harass? I didn't help. Who? When did I help him harass his victims? What are you talking about?
I know, what? Alyssa,
look, but these are
no. Wait. You need to take some accountability here, sweetheart, because you are now interacting with him yourself as a minor, instigating him to respond to you. Mm-hmm. He's blocked you. Okay, fuck off from him.
Yeah.
Go do something else. Yeah, go outside and live your fucking life.
If you think he's that bad, why do you keep interacting with him? Yeah. Maybe stay away from him.
We're not engaging with him if he's doing those things.
She interacts with him more than we do. I barely reply to him. I barely like his comments. You, Alicia, you react to him more than we do. You've replied to him way more than either of us have. Yes, a 17-year-old victim needs to take accountability. I didn't tell you to take accountability. You're telling us to take this is the opposite. We're not telling you to take accountability. You're telling us to take oh my God. All right. Banned.
Done.
She's done. Grant, can you ban her? Grant?
I got her.
Oh, you got it. It's funny because she's not, this is the kind of behavior you get from this community, by the way. But you see how, she tries to twist it on us and twist the argument the other way. She said, oh, you want me, a 17-year-old, to take accountability for a 40-year-old? We didn't tell her to take any accountability for anything. What did we tell her to take accountability for?
Yeah,
In fact, she's the one doing that. She's the one telling us to take accountability for hearing a side of a story. We have taken accountability for it. Alyssa, yes, every person deserves to be heard. I don't give a fuck what they've done.
I told you on Twitter, principle. I support your legal endeavors if you're going to pursue legal action. I'm not going to fund that for you, but I support your pursuit to seek legal action. Do it.
Yeah.
I'm not being silly about that or sarcastic with that. Do it.
I mean, Alicia, if you think you're a victim and you have a side of the story to tell, YouTube allows you even at 17, to open up a YouTube account and tell your story. Go for it. We would, you know what happened is, if you did that, me and Chris would never go and tell people not to watch you stream. Talking about us, we would never do that. It's only you guys that do that. We actually have the opposite principle of that. And we think we should hear every side of a story. We think every side of a story deserves to be told. And that the public should decide what is true and what isn't true, as opposed to having one figure or one side tell you, we're the truth, don't listen to that side. That is never right. And in fact, you might only be 17 years old, but listen, you're doing this all wrong. The fact that you tell people not to listen to them only make them more suspicious of your side.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The more you say, he did this, he did that, don't listen to him, the more people want to listen to him, because they want to know, why did you do that? You know what I'm saying? Why are they telling me not to listen to you? I understand they're saying you did all these things. Did you actually do all those things? Like, we want to hear both sides. This is a basic principle. Everybody should know this. I don't understand. Even a 17-year-old should know this.
Yeah.
I just explained it with children. Like, if your brother hits you and you tell your mom your brother hit you, she still go asks your brother if he hit you. Mm-hmm. She doesn't just believe you straight out, because she knows you could be lying. She knows you could be manipulating evidence. She knows maybe there's some context left out that makes it different. Just like BxBullet goes out on Twitter and tells everybody, oh, they're platforming that man that took a naked picture of my child. Is that true? Okay, well, let's see the evidence. Oh, here's the evidence of him saying he was trying to report her for terms of service because they were in an internet war.
Yeah.
Why isn't she saying that? Also, when she first ran out on the screen, before any of that happened, and the girl first ran out on the screen, and everybody was criticizing her for having her daughter run out on the screen naked, she said she wasn't actually naked. So I ask, naturally, I feel suspicious about that. Okay, so when her kid first ran out, and people were criticizing her for not taking care of her child properly, which I don't criticize her for. I think it's perfectly fine. I think it's something to be accountable for, but I think that it's something forgivable that your kid runs out on the street. Totally forgivable. But just, as long as you take accountability for it. But instead, she weaponizes it, right? And so the first thing is that happens. I heard her come out and say her kid wasn't actually naked. Everybody's confused. What actually happened is her kid had a skin-tight, skin-colored, like unitard kind of thing. And it just looked like she was naked, right? And I think, personally, my opinion is that's not true. I think the truth was she was naked and she was covering her own ass. But what happened later on now is this guy caught a picture of that. Maybe not him personally, but somebody in his crew. I don't know the full story. They tell conflicting stories. Even the proof of him on that video is another conflicting story. And there's like 4 or 5 different stories for this, right? But in the end, regardless of what happened, she's telling people that he took a picture of her naked child. The only reason she even knows this is because somebody said, we clipped that video and we're going to report you. So why would it be pedophilic or for sexual purposes if they're the ones telling you this, and they're telling you it's for to report for terms of service? You know what I'm saying? A pedophile would keep that to themselves and use it, right? Like sexually. So obviously that's not pedophilia. That's not CP, whatever you guys want to call it. There's millions of people in the country who have naked pictures of their 4-year-olds, of their 3-year-olds. This was to report her for terms of service over an internet war. She knows this. She puts the video of him saying that in her clip to say that she knows this. But what does she do? She still says, he's a child predator. He took a picture of my naked child. Okay. This is incorrect framing. It is manipulative framing. Okay. She admits to being a manipulator. So if she's a manipulator and we hear her and know multiple sides of a story, and we know that she's framing it in a manipulative way, this raises suspicion, right? And if you publicly raise suspicion, then people should be allowed to hear the other side to be able to come to a conclusion. Now, I personally believe the truth is somewhere in between. I think BxBullet is right about some things, and I think Matt is in the clear about some things. And I think that there's a line in the middle somewhere. I don't think everything that BxBullet is saying and trying to prove is accurate. There's, again, Look through the Google Doc. There's one where she literally in her narrative states, here we'll see Matt giving Snapchat to children, to minors in his server. Then you look at the screen cap and it's him saying at everyone. Members or at everyone, tagging the entire server, not children. Now, that's not to say there weren't children in there. That's not to say that there's a possibility that he could have been like, I'm just going to send it to everyone and hope that a child, messages me, Yeah. I'm not even saying that. But all I'm saying is you are purposefully manipulating the framing to make it seem like he's directly giving his Snapchat to children. Right? That's the way you frame it in your words, but then you show the picture and the picture shows something else. This happens in her own video. Mm-hmm. There's moments where she's saying she's promoting a book that this gay teenager was writing that was like pedophilic or something. And he's talking about it in his chat. And he's saying, this girl's saying that she's promoting it. But we look at the proof of that and he's actually saying, not here. So he's basically saying like, don't do that in this server. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think later on, she shows a screen cap that shows that kid had his own server. And he was telling him, go do that in your own server, right? But she twists the things in a manipulative way to make it seem like it's more proof than it is. And when you look at it, you're like, there's something fishy here. Now, we're not even saying she's wrong. All we're saying is that it's suspicious. Yeah. And we want to hear the other side. Now, when we try to hear the other side, because we think her side of the story is sounding suspicious, and we've done videos, streams showing you where it's suspicious. If you want, we could do it again. But I mean, 7 people watching, nobody cares. But if you wanted to, yeah, we have old streams about it too. In the end, here we go. Let me quit discussing my naked child. No, get off of my ban. That's it. You come in here like that, ban.
You're not in charge of how people.
I would have had a discussion with you, but you come in here like that. Get the fuck out of my fucking stream. You don't need to come here. I don't know you. I thought you had me blocked. Go back to having me blocked like a pussy, like you said about Hunter. Don't come over here and talk to me like that. Cease and desist. After everything I've been through for 2 days because of your dumbass, because you don't know how to fucking use the internet, because you think it's immoral for me to hear a side of a story? Get the fuck out of here, man. I don't play that shit.
Reba McEntire on your own fucking time, bitch. Like, you're not welcome here.
No. No. And then you come in like that, you're definitely not welcome here. Plus, everything I stated is public information. Go to, look, there's her name. BxBullet TV. Go to BxBullet TV. You'll find her videos with all of her side of her story. Everything she said. If you look under in the description, she has the documents there. You can look up the documents. I will never tell people not to hear her side of the story. Please listen to her side of the story, but also hear the other side. Remember, there's only one side of this that's telling you not to hear a side of a story. We're the ones telling you to hear all of the story. Listen to it all. When there's a beef on the internet, don't listen to one side because it's team sports. She's telling you they're having a war on the internet. I'm not even saying this guy hasn't done these things. Possibly they did, possibly, but you got to hear both sides of the story. This is a basic principle. The fact that her and her community don't understand this is fucking ridiculous. This is like 4th grade knowledge to hear both sides of a story.
Even though last night on Dylan Burns' debate Hippy Dippy stream, she is the one, when they bring up the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp situation, says, seeing only one side, it's hard to formulate the whole thing when you only see part of the picture. Like, how ironic do you use that logic for that situation, but you can't apply it to your own life? You're the internet mom nobody asked for, right? Yeah, you're not our mother. You're the mother to one person, not the fucking world.
That is a weird thing. She acts like she could tell people what to do. And it's like, you can't tell me what to do. You can't tell me who I can or can't platform. I'm not an SJW. I don't believe in deplatforming. I believe in hearing every story. I believe that whether you're John Wayne Gacy or Adolf fucking Hitler, you deserve to have your story told.
Yeah,
I don't believe in banning. I don't believe in banning books. I believe that no books. I believe we should hear those sides of those books. If you want to be a censor and you want to be an SJW and ban people, that's on you. Go for it. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the public deserves to hear every side of the story. I in no way even said that his side of the story is true. You know what I'm saying?
More than
Like,
just us.
this
have
is
said
this
that
is what makes it the most ridiculous, is that we've done nothing. We haven't gone after them. They've come to us. We listened to, all we did was listen to this guy tell his story, and they've come at us like, oh, you're not allowed to hear that. Like, well, why not? And then they come with these lies. You defended him. No, I didn't. You support him. No, I didn't. He's your friend. No, he's not. I don't even know what his Twitch channel is. I don't even know what he does. I don't know what games he plays. I don't know anything about him. All I know is every time I go to listen to this guy's side of the story of the beef between BxBullet and him, I get mobbed by a bunch of people telling me not to listen to his side of the story. And her even.
The most ironic thing that I've taken away from all of this is that when I first got wind of this from her tweet that she put out, I guess recycling this because it's been about 2 years now, I saw her tweet with the video screen cap of him going on somebody else's stream, admitting what he did. And they asked him, isn't it kind of morally bankrupt to have clipped or have somebody send you a clip of her child running on stream like that? And he agreed that it would maybe morally bankrupt. However, it was for anything. It could have been anything going against terms of service on Twitch that they were looking to report BxBullet on. And from that moment on, I looked at that and I thought, if that's happening and he's now using that as more like content on his own side, she should report that. I was blocked immediately by BxBullet on Twitter for saying, if this is happening, you should report this person.
Yeah.
You should report that person because that's not nice to have done.
Mm-hmm.
I was on your side at the beginning, BxBullet.
Yeah.
And you fucking blocked me. And then you come on, I go on your comment section and I give my opinion of everything that I've listened to from your side. And you accuse me of being his harasser, of stalking you, of being a pedophile. Yeah, I was asking questions.
She puts herself out in the public and then gets mad that people talk about her. I don't care. BX, go make videos about me. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care. I'll just reply to him. I'm not going to go crazy and jump in your channel and go, oh, stop talking about me. Oh. You put things public, it's up to be talked about. You act certain ways online, you get criticized for it. What's the problem? I started this stream because people are coming at me with the wrong arguments. And if I said, if you guys want to argue it, come in the chat and argue it. I'm ready. I did nothing immoral. Right. But meanwhile, I got this Alicia chick coming at me going, I'll see you in court. And when this goes down and we figure this all out, you're going down. I got a threat here. Oh, you know what I should do? I should put up the threat on the screen that I got from somebody from BxBullet's community threatening my channel. Let's put that up. Let's put that up on the screen.
And then these people turn around and say, no, I came from ReignPlasma's community. So this is just the behavior that you've decided to push on to other people that are just interested in hearing both sides of the situation. It's okay it's ethical harassment and it's ethical lying. I forgot. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, well, in the end, we've done nothing wrong. And all that's happened since we just wanted to hear a side of a story where we were told not to is constant attack, right?
Yeah.
This girl Alicia has been coming at me on Twitter for the last 2 days, right?
Even though she said she was done with us in the afternoon yesterday.
A guy threatened me. I'm going to put it on the screen right now. Threatened my channel. He said, oh, that's the channel? I know what we do with that. Well, don't worry, honey. We're going to take care of it or something like that. Watch. And I'm going to show you who it is. Just so you guys know, because this is them. I didn't threaten anyone, mind you. I never, me nor Chris, we never threatened anyone. We didn't threaten anyone with legal action. We didn't threaten anyone's channel. We didn't say we were going to flag anybody. We had never posted any threats. And in fact, almost everything we've said has been in response. Let's see.
You can go on her Twitter right now, which is also BxBullet TV, and see how she warps things that are actually happening in real fucking time. Like, an actual real time.
It's a tantrum, is what it is. We're victims of a tantrum. Like a child tantrum. But it's a child tantrum from a YouTuber and her community. It's so insane.
criticism to the things that we've already seen her put out publicly, of everything that she's been documenting and diarying about this whole thing. So we're giving criticism to certain things that she's put out there. We've also given criticism to the things that the other side, ReignPlasma, has put out there too. And she turns it around to say, who the fuck is this Elf Benny guy? And why is he talking about my naked child on his YouTube stream?
Because you did. Because you are a public figure who spoke about this publicly. It's part of one of your public accusations against someone that you accused publicly. Therefore, it is up for public conversation. We can discuss it. If, let's say, Amber Heard had a naked child run on screen during anything she did, that could be discussed publicly on celebrity magazines. It could be shown on YouTube videos, on supercuts of the court case. This is things, when you put things public, nobody told you that you had to make this accusation public. When you made it public, it's up for public discourse.
Exactly.
I don't understand how that's difficult. Anything I've put, if you look, I've been in multiple beefs on the internet with the vegan community, with Christian fucking nutbags. I've been through all kinds of fucking beefs on the internet. You want to go back and criticize any of the beefs I had in the past and hear the other person's side of the story? You would never hear me tell you no, or have my community come after you. I wouldn't come after you. I'd be like, yeah, go ahead. And I'll wait for your video to come out and just make a response. Like, I'm not going to flip out about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And send people after you. How dare you talk about my thing? You know what I'm saying? Well, I said it on a stream. I said it on a debate. If it's something personal, that's up to you. Like, I put that out there. It's up for discussion. You know what I'm saying? It's so weird that you make yourself a public figure and then get upset that people talk about you. Yeah. You put yourself on YouTube and Twitch.
But you know what? I get it, because she's an expert. She's the scientist. She's what the fuck is she now? She's a private investigator. She's an expert.
I don't even care what she is. None of that matters to me.
What is it? She's the single mom that works too hard, loves her kids, and never stops. Reba McEntire, everybody. That's who she is. This is who she is.
And none of that matters to me. I don't care if she is those things. That doesn't matter. None of that even, who cares? The truth is, when you try to hear a side of the story, you get attacked. And when that happens, there's a suspicion there. And now I really want to hear that side of the story. Why am I being attacked just for hearing someone out? Like, first off, you're insulting my intelligence, which I don't care if you want to insult my intelligence, but that's what it is. You're saying, and in fact, you're insulting the intelligence of everyone.
Everybody.
Because what you're saying is, listen to me, only me. If you get to listen to him, you as a human being are not smart enough to understand that, to tell the difference between his story and my story. Right. So if you hear, this is the two things that can be: either everyone's stupid and I'm the only one that can tell you the truth, which gives you some sort of narcissistic God complex, right? Or you are not confident enough about your story to say, damn, if they hear his side, they might start double thinking my side. And that's making me nervous and scared. You know what I'm saying? So instead of being like, instead of being confident about your story, I'm confident about any story I tell. You can go against anybody that I go against and tell a story about. I will never tell you not to listen to them and only listen to me. Never in my life have I ever done that. I learned that virtue when I was like 5 years old with my brother. You know what I'm saying? And maybe being a single child, I don't know if she is, but maybe if she's a single child, maybe being a single child means you don't learn that virtue very young. But I learned that shit as a kid. I learned that that my parents aren't going to just listen to my side of a story, no matter how much evidence I have against my brother. Exactly. I knew that wasn't going to happen. Why? Because instantly my mom said, oh, what happened? And then went to my brother. Oh, what happened? And heard both of our stories every single fucking time. So I learned that virtue as a kid. So anybody who tells me don't listen to that other side of the story I know they're fucking suspicious as shit. And don't have confidence in your story. That is your fault for not having confidence in the story. Whether you're right or wrong, it's your fault for not having confidence in your own story and going about it that way and throwing tantrums when people think your story is suspicious.
Like, it's not just their average person.
I have videos with myself on camera. Go on my main page on YouTube and scroll down and you'll see videos with me. I'm not a narcissist, and I don't feel like I need to show my face every single time I stream like a fucking narcissist. I go on and off. I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
neither
and
do I.
I'm not here for you to look at my face. I don't care. If you want to see what I look like, there's other videos with me talking on a
Yeah, I
live stream.
have pictures of my face online as well.
Also, American Patriot, your arguments fucking suck. I wrecked all of your arguments. I'm waiting for another one now. Are you here for an argument? Because if you came here to give me valid arguments, I'm down. But if you came here to be a douche, then you're out. I'm not against banning people from my chat.
Yeah,
So.
what people need to understand is that it's not just the average person. Like I'm nobody online, and she's got something against me for having my opinion that has questions about what she's put out there.
Yeah.
But it's also like it's law enforcement, it's the FBI, it's child services or whatever CSA or whatever like that.
In the end,
whoever she's reported this to, she thinks they're all fucking dumb. So it's not just us that she thinks has gotten this wrong. She thinks that even law enforcement is done with it.
Let's see, Stephen Michael Davis asking me what's going on because of the threats against me. Yeah, which I'm going to show. But he's like, what's going on? So I said, people trying to strong arm me to go against my principles. That's exactly what this is. Yeah. This is a group of people who want to bully me out of living my principles. And my principles are to hear both sides of a story. And when I go to hear both sides of a story, what happens? People come and try to bully me out of my principle. Remember that. Remember that, people. I'm not the side that's trying to bully anyone's principles. Remember that. And I won't budge. That's my principles. I don't budge on that shit. I don't budge on my morality, and I don't budge on my principles. You can hang with that shit. If you got an argument to try to convince me that what I'm doing is immoral, then I give you the stand. But if you don't have one, then what are you here for? You're just here to straw man me or insult me, right? That Alicia chick comes in. Did she give me any arguments on why what I did was immoral? No, she just repeated the same thing we already told people about. We already went over it. We already platformed that stuff. So she's coming in just to repeat stuff that's been platformed and that's totally public multiple times and ignoring the argument. I'm saying, but regardless of all that, what is your argument of what I did being immoral? Mm-hmm. And she didn't have one. She said, oh, well, do you know he did that? Okay, then he did that. What does that have to do with me? What does that have to do with what I'm doing being immoral?
Exactly.
Are you guys, here's my question for you guys, even though you're all blocked in the chat, but if one of you can get one through, are you guys SJWs? I would think you're not. I would think somebody with the name American Patriot would not be an SJW.
Yeah.
SJWs are the deplatformers. Why are you for deplatforming? I'm not an SJW. I'm the one on the left, but I'm not an SJW, so I'm not for deplatforming. I'm not a progressive. I'm a center left. So are you guys for platforming? That's deplatforming? That's my thing. So you guys aren't going to complain when people get deplatformed. You don't complain about that. You're totally fine with deplatforming. If that's your stance, that's fine. But you have to understand that that's not my stance. I'm not for deplatforming. I don't think Alex Jones should have been kicked off of YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I'm not for deplatforming. I'm not one of those people who thinks, you should deplatform Nick Fuentes. I'm not one of those people. I think Nick Fuentes should be allowed to have his channel and talk, and we can bust on him all we want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not for deplatforming. So I don't know what the problem is here. Where is the immorality here? Now, BxBullet comes in, says one thing. What is it? Stop talking about my kid. So you don't have a problem. You know what's funny is I wouldn't be talking about your kid if you and your community hadn't fucking come and attacked me for wanting to hear a side of a story, for not doing anything immoral. You know what I'm saying? So now I ask, what did I do that was immoral? So this wouldn't even be happening if I wasn't attacked for doing something that's totally fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yet no one can seem to give me an argument as to why what I did was wrong. And every time someone comes in, all they do is tell me what he did. But what he did has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with whether the public can hear that story or not. So I don't understand how that's even an argument to this. So if you can explain, if anybody can give me an explanation at all on what I did is immoral. Look, even that Alicia chick comes in here. She starts arguing with me. She never makes a plea as to why I'm immoral for having him on. Everything she says is a lie. You platformed him. Okay, so you defended him. No, I didn't. I just heard his story and acknowledged that I heard his story. Oh, well, you're this. No, I'm not that either. Okay, well, okay, no, you. And she freaks out and starts typing 100 things. So that girl literally does not have a good reason to be upset with me except team sports. That's it. That's the only reason. Or I'm a victim, but I don't know you to be a victim. I don't care if you're a victim. I didn't come to you. You came to me.
Yeah, exactly.
So why should I care that you're a victim? Okay, this guy victimized you. That's an issue between you and the police and him. That's not an issue between me and him. The issue between me and him is to hear his side of a beef that people are telling me I can't hear. That's what I'm there for. There's nothing immoral in that. I didn't even promote him. I didn't say where to find him. People who watched, but nobody in my community can probably knows how to find this guy because I didn't even say what his Twitter was on the stream. In fact, I said who BxBullet was and said to go hear her side of the story too. This is what I find to be funny. This is the funniest part, is that we're on a side who says, listen to everybody, right? Anybody listening to this now or in the future, we're on the side that says, listen to both sides of the story, right? BxBullet and her community have been attacking us for days because they're on the side that says we can only listen to their side of the story. We can only listen to BxBullet's story. We're not allowed to listen to Matt's story, right? And if you want to hear Matt's story, they're going to attack you for days. You're going to be threatened by this guy. Let me put up the threat. I think I just tweeted it again. Yeah, that's the one Stephen Michael Davis responded with, like, well, why are you being threatened? And I'm like, because I'm standing by my morals and people fucking don't like it, I guess. I don't even know why I'm being threatened here. Like, and it's like, is this the kind of community you want? Didn't she talk about how Destiny's community and Hunter's community were so toxic?
Yeah. But
what about your community?
This is just her community.
What about this? What about this right here? What about this? Don't worry, kid. I'll handle this shortly, right? I'm guessing Matt probably paid this guy. He paid for an account. Yeah, please. Oh, this was he tweeted out. He tweeted out this one. Oh, looks like there is a YouTube channel we need to. Looks like there's a YouTube channel we need to handle now, right? So I retweeted that because I wanted to show everyone. So I quote tweeted that and I said, "Check this out." That's all I said. So he quote tweets that. And said, oh, he replies to that. He goes, yeah, please check it out. So I quote tweeted that again. I go, yeah, like I said, check this out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to let you fucking bully me and not show everyone, right? Then he says, I'm this stuff. And then he says, don't worry, kid, I'll handle this shortly to you about something. And then he blocks us both.
Because he said to me in response, why aren't you listening to both sides?
Yeah.
And I turned around and I said, but we have been saying that we would like to hear both sides. And for some reason, that's a problem each time we say that. And then he blocked me.
Exactly. So is that a threat? Is that the way your community operates? I bet you any money nobody from my community has threatened anyone from your community. I bet you any money. I would bet on that. My community is not like that.
They keep thinking that.
But yet you're the one who complains about.
We have heard her side.
But yet she's the one who complains about DGG and Hunter's audience, saying, oh, they're so toxic. You go on their platforms and they just keep coming after you. Well, that's what your community's done to us. If you had a bigger community, the thing is, you don't have that big of a community, at least in comparison to Destiny and Hunter. But if you did, your audience would be just the same. And the harassment we faced has been small potatoes. It's not really even a big deal. We think it's more funny than anything and stream worthy. But if you were the size of like Destiny and Hunter, we would be getting bullied by thousands of people, or maybe hundreds, maybe thousands is too much, right? We would be getting bullied by hundreds of people to not stand by our principles and to not listen to another side of a story. Imagine that Destiny, let's say BxBullet, right? Let's put a hypothetical here, right? Destiny goes on BxBullet, right? Or the other way around, right? And Destiny tells her this story about this person who did something to him and said, oh man, this guy did this to me, did that to me, did this to me. And then he says, or the other way around, I'm sorry. Destiny tells somebody else about it, about her, and says she did this, she did that, but then says you can't listen to her side of the story. How bad is that going to be when we go, hey, BxBullet, we want to hear your side of the story, no matter how much evidence Destiny has on her. BxBullet, I know you're accused of these terrible things. I've seen the evidence. I want to have you on to hear your side of the story.
And then
right? And then you know what would happen? I would get attacked by hundreds of DGG, right? And going like, oh, how dare you, blah, blah, blah. You're promoting this person, blah, blah. I'm not, and you know, and I'd be having the same arguments. I'm not promoting them. I'm trying to have them on to hear their side of the story. I'm never even saying that his side of the story is true. I'm just trying to hear what he says is what's happening, right? Just like I heard what she says is happening and looked at her evidence, right? And she has tons of it. I'm not saying she doesn't, right? But I looked at that. Now, can I look at the other side? Is that allowed? Right? Apparently not. Apparently that's not allowed. But why is it not allowed? That's what I want to know. Why am I not? Why does this happen right here? And somebody wants to handle my YouTube channel because I wanted to hear another side. The Fumer, Jay Fumer, which it sounds like Spanish, like Fumer, but Jay Fumer, if you're ever watched this and you're looking at this, what did I do that warranted you threatening to handle my channel? What exactly was the offense that I did? You know what I'm saying? Is it that you don't like what I'm saying? Is it that you're for deplatforming? What is it? You know what I'm saying? So far, none of them have given me a good argument as to why I couldn't hear Matt's side of the story. You know, and then she gets mad we're talking about her, but she's a public figure. We can talk about her. We're not trying to bash her. We're just giving our opinions on her personality. And in fact, it's her personality that made this story suspicious in the first place.
She makes this tweet and she says, he seems to think they are part of my community and is now blaming me for other people speaking out. He doesn't realize how many communities are involved. He blamed all of Fumer.
I would say, if that's not his community, then I express to this person too and any other community, what did I do wrong? I dare you to come and tell me what I did wrong. And you can't.
Go in there and say anything and he'll ban you immediately.
Yes. No, I'll ban you if you come in here like a douchebag. Come in here and talk to me like a human being and react to me and have a conversation with me, or I'm going to ban you for sure. She comes in here first right off the bat into my platform and tells me what I can and cannot talk about. You're out. Come in here and tell me what I can talk about, and let's see what happens to you in the chat. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to come in here and have the argument with me, we'll have that argument, because I did nothing immoral. And the fact that I'm being attacked for just wanting to hear another side of a story is fucking ridiculous. And in fact, I'll argue that what I did is moral. And in fact, I did BxBullet a fucking favor. Could be, you know what? You want to know why? Because she comes out right after my stream and puts out a tweet about how I caught Matt lying about this, this, and that. Well, guess what? I did you a favor. Now you have something else and more evidence to put into your folder to talk about that he's lying about, right? So how did I do anything wrong? People listening to him is not against you. It's for you. It helps you.
She's still listening. She goes, and then because Matt blames everything on me and tells everyone he manipulates it, that it's all on me. Just like BX. Oh, you fucking do it yourself.
Hold on. Again, this beef and my stream had nothing to do with Matt in general. It had nothing to do with Matt versus any other community. Her bitching and saying that we're making it all about her. Yes, the stream was about your beef with him, your accusations versus his side of the story. We heard your side of the story. You took it upon yourself to spearhead a story. You made a video about it. You put out a Google Doc about it. We covered the video. We covered the Google Doc. Then we had him come on to hear his story. And then what? And then what happens? We're under a constant attack. Maybe it's not your community, but it has to do with you regardless. And either way, we know you told that Alicia chick to leave to ignore us, but she still keeps coming to us. We still know she's part of your community. You can't say she's not. If you want to distance yourself from it, then ignore all of this. You're the one who came in here to tell me what I can and can't do on my platform. Like, yes. I didn't tell you what you can and can't do on your platform. Never did that.
Just the other day, you were on Twitch and you had somebody on that was from Matt's community, and you admitted yourself that you had alt accounts that you were using to try and validate and make your side look more credible. So why would it look so odd that I would question if certain people were your alt accounts?
Like, I never call her a manipulator without showing that she calls herself that.
You admit these things.
When I said that she calls herself a persuasive manipulator, it is something she literally said on a stream. It's not something I made up. It's not an insult that I'm telling her that. She thinks that this is where it makes it funny, because she thinks she's morally in the right to persuasively manipulate people for good. I say, my argument is, you're not an arbiter for good, so you don't get to decide that for people.
Right.
For me, in my eyes and my perspective, that is immoral. So if I can, why can't I make that argument? If she's so confident that what she's saying is good and being a persuasive manipulator for good is a good concept, and she can argue that, what is the issue with me stating my opinion? Because then she would be able to put out her opinion with full confidence.
Exactly.
I put out my opinion with full confidence. When you say you're a manipulator or persuasive manipulator for good, my argument is, if that's the case, then how do I know if what you're doing is actually for good? Because you're not, no single individual is an arbiter for good. No single individual can say what is good for everyone. That is not a shining principle. That doesn't make any sense. The truth is, manipulating people is literally, even persuasive, controlling, whichever word you want to put in front of it. A manipulation is a destruction of agency. You are taking away people's abilities to decide for themselves. The best thing you could do for people is give them the information. Let them read all the information. Let them see both sides of the information and let them decide for themselves. All of this has happened for one simple reason. Me and Chris wanted to hear the other side of this beef. But every time we did, it seemed to be a giant fucking fiasco. And now, in general, I don't see anything immoral about it. If Hunter took money from Matt to make a video about BxBullet, why is that immoral? I understand why BxBullet hates it. But then, is she admitting? She would have to admit that's an emotional pleading. And most people aren't going to care about your emotional pleading. What they're going to care about is whether you could tell me why it's immoral. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You put yourself out in public, you can be criticized. The things you put out in public can be criticized. Her herself builds evidence on this guy by things she collects in public and then puts it out to the public, right?
Right.
So if I wanted to make a case against you, BxBullet, which I don't, but if I wanted to, I would have to go to everything you do publicly that I can look at publicly. And I mean, without manipulation, I don't have to make sock accounts, or I don't have to, I don't have to manipulate you into or lie to you in order to get information off you or trick you into anything. For just whatever you've said publicly. And if I took that and built the case on you, there's nothing immoral about that. That's how you build cases against people. It's what you've done,
Yeah.
So what did we do that was wrong? Right? This is what I ask anyone. What did we do that was wrong? We're about to end the stream soon because I don't think there's anybody else coming in. The only people who came in were people who couldn't form an argument and just wanted to spurg out, which is what we've been dealing with for 2 days. Have an argument. If you think I did something wrong, tell me what I did wrong. You keep strawmanning what I did wrong. You keep saying I'm promoting somebody. I never mentioned his channel. I didn't say where you can even find him on Twitter. When did I promote him? You said I defended somebody. I heard his side of the story. What did I defend? Can you show me where I put up a defense for him? Anytime I mentioned anything, it was all my opinion of seeing both sides of the story, or my opinion on one side and then my opinion on the other, right? But nowhere did I say oh, Matt, you're right. You totally did this. Now, again, my personal opinion is I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. Matt himself states he's no angel. He's done grimy shit. He's been a shady character. Okay, thank you for admitting that. That says a lot about you, and it takes strength to come out and admit those things. That's a good image, right? Now, BxBullet could come out and say, yeah, maybe I exaggerated the narrative on some of these so much. I understand what you're saying, that maybe if I said he was sending kids his Snapchat, and then I show a picture of him tagging everyone in a Discord and say, maybe that is a bit exaggeration of what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, there can maybe be some bend there. I'm not saying BxBullet is wrong. I'm not saying that her evidence doesn't show that there's something strange going on. What I'm saying is she's making definitive claims about something she does not have definitive proof on, right? And it gets shadier when she exaggerates to try to make it seem more definitive, or she changes the story or adds things. He's an alleged pedophile. No, he's an accused pedophile. Or, oh, no, she wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you change things. So then people are going to be suspicious, and people are allowed to be suspicious. In fact, there's nothing immoral about curiosity. There's nothing immoral about having a suspicion. Okay. And when you are suspicious and you are curious, you should look at things from different angles. You don't just look at things from one angle and have that angle tell you not to look at any more angles, right? Mm-hmm. Now, anybody watching this now and to the future, I implore you to give me any kind of explanation, any kind of argument that anything I did was morally wrong. Tell me. I promise you, this is exactly what I did. I saw one side of a story, saw a lot of it. And every time I got to hear another side of the story or try to, there was a huge push against that. So I said, this is the thing. Let's say CNN and Fox. And let's say CNN comes out with the story. Fox comes out with this, wants to come out with the story. CNN sues them. And now they can't come out with the story. And CNN keeps telling us, you're not allowed to hear that story. This is what happened. Mm-hmm. Fox is telling you, was going to tell you something else happened. We don't want you to hear that. Do you think BxBullet would agree that that's okay? Or would you think that they would say, whatever Fox has to say, even if it's harmful for people, Fox should be allowed to say it? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If they have a story they want to tell us, and you're telling us only listen to your story, CNN, I want to hear Fox tell the story. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Whether they're lying or not, I want to decide whether CNN is telling me the truth, regardless of how much proof they're showing me. I want to see what Fox News has to say about it. And I want to hear their part of this, whether they're lying to me or not. I disbelieve that she would disagree with that. And I disbelieve many people would disagree with that. I think most people, the vast majority of people, would agree that they'd rather hear both sides of the story, whether they're being lied to or not. Mm-hmm. And this is where I say I'm not doing anything wrong. Nobody has. I haven't defended anybody. I haven't promoted anybody. If anything, I promoted BxBullet's video on her side of the story on this, because I want people to watch that. I want people to give her views on that. I want people to hear her side of the story.
I want people to see her document, diary, whatever you're calling it today. I want people to look at that.
We never once told anybody not to look at her side of the story. Go look for it. Go judge it for yourself. We're not your judges, public. You know what I'm saying? Listen, public, we're not your judges. We're not your truth tellers. We're just people who tell you things, show you stuff, and you decide. I'm not here to convince any of you of anything. I'm here to give my opinions on things. If you don't like my opinions on things, that's on you. You can go give your own opinions on your platform. That's fine. But for you to come and tell me how I run my platform, why? Go do your own thing in your platform. I don't care what you do in your platform. What does that have to do with me? You know what I'm saying? I'm here to give my opinions on things that are happening publicly. Yeah.
This is why it's kind of like, it's just not right to be claiming to be an expert of all things or trying to deprogram people in some type of way. People should be able to, like Alpha's been saying, think for themselves and decide what they believe or disbelieve.
Now, in fact, these people discredit themselves because all they do over and over again is say the same things, and they're not making an argument for why it's immoral for me to do this. Like this guy likes this chat right here, right? Why are these two creeps still talking to me after banning me and another victim on Freedom Chat? Because you started spamming the chat with no you, no you, no you, no you over and over again. That's why. So what? Like, don't you remember doing that? You don't remember spazzing out and typing no you and spamming it over and over again? You thought we were just going to let you do that over and over again and not ban you?
Yes, like,
but you see,
want that attention.
But look at Alicia's behavior. She does something to get banned and then turns it around
and cries about it
and tries to play victim about it and say, look, they banned me and they're still talking about it. Well, you didn't have to be banned. You could have behaved yourself in the chat and stayed in the chat and kept making your argument. But instead, you decided to flame out and type no you over and over again and spam the chat with that. That's not our fault. We didn't ask you to do that. What we asked you to do was to make an argument. You couldn't make an argument, right? Same thing with this American Patriot guy. He came in here. He could have made an argument. Instead, he decided to do this, you know, and like, fucking, what did he say? Oh, what's this hiding behind a screen? Who cares if we're hiding behind a screen? How does us hiding behind a screen change the morality of what we did, right? Because the argument here is that they're saying we did something wrong. They're coming at us. Why? Because obviously they must think we did something wrong. So now I ask, what is it we did wrong? Oh, you know, the fact that they can't tell us also makes me extra suspicious and is now leading me to the conclusion that we didn't do anything wrong. No. They're just coming at us over team sports. Right. They're coming at us because you did something we don't like. It's not immoral, but we don't like it. And we're going to attack you because it's our team versus your team, right? And it's like, I did nothing wrong. What did I do wrong? You don't even know my channel. Like, you came here because I wanted to hear a side of a story. And look how you've behaved because I wanted to hear a side of a story. You understand? Cope more. But who's coping? I did nothing wrong. So what's there to cope over? In fact, if anything, it looks like you guys are the ones coping. You're the ones freaking out. You're the ones coming at me and freaking out. I just did a stream. If none of you ever came to me, nothing would have happened. And I would have been like, okay. And we would have just kept going. 9 people would have watched it. That's it.
Yeah.
And in fact, probably like 3 or 4 of those 9 people were people that were claiming they were victims of his. So it's really like 3 or 4 people that got to hear his story. And that's what you guys are flipping out about. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that makes it even more suspicious. Like, why do they flip out so hard about 3 or 4 people? And then they'll use that against you. You don't even have an audience. Then why are you here? Why are you here? Then why are you here? I don't mind having a small audience. I've had a small audience for a while. I do it. I almost do it on purpose sometimes because I go on and off of streaming. I don't care. This isn't my job. If it was my job, that'd be a different story, but it's not. But in the end, I'm not the one going out of my way to come at you guys for something. You guys are coming at me for something, yet you can't seem to explain why you're coming at me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? All they've said is things that I haven't done. You defended them. No, I didn't. You promoted them. No, I didn't. In fact, I promoted the opposite more. You know, I promoted BxBullet's side of the story even more than I promoted his side and where to find his side, right? I said, listen to BxBullet's story on her video, her streams, whatever she's talking about it. Go listen to those and then listen to this stream, right? On top of having covered her videos and stuff before. This isn't the first time. That wasn't just the first time we came upon this, right? So before we streamed with him, people would tell us, this girl, Alicia, said, how can you stream with him without researching him first? You haven't even read the Google Doc. I said, yes, I did read the Google Doc, and I even quoted some stuff of it to her because she tried to tell me, well, he sent underage kids to a porn site, which is not the exact story. And I said, well, that's not exactly true. I read the Google Doc. This is how I know that what he sent them to was a sex toy shop. That's a little different. There's not like, you know, penetration going on there. It's plastic items they're showing you. There's not like asshole all over the fucking screen. You know what I'm saying? So it's a totally different thing, but it's being phrased. This is why I talk about the manipulative phrasing is, oh, he sent it to a porn site. Why? Because when you hear porn site, what do you think? DPs and anal and you know what I'm saying? And then fucking Spitfires and shit. Like that's what you're thinking about. You know? You're not thinking about, oh, they're looking at plastic items. This is what I'm talking about them being manipulative and them twisting. And just like, instead of giving you the exact information, you get a watered down, exaggerated one, you know? And then when you push back on that and say, well, I thought it was this, they back up and give you lesser claims. Oh, well, he scammed some people. Well, what happened to the first thing we were talking about? Oh, he's a pedophile. Well, actually, this is what it is. Oh, well, he scammed people. What happened to your claim about he's a pedophile? You just moved on to something else.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we know about that. And we've acknowledged that. That's been acknowledged. That was acknowledged on my stream. Maybe to different degrees than they want, but that was acknowledged on my stream. That's his part of the story. That's what he told us. Where's the problem there? Why can't I hear him tell me his narrative of the story? Why is that? That's where I want to know the immorality in this. At what point is it immoral for me to listen to his side of the story?
I still don't see what's wrong.
I don't see. It's the same thing over and over again. I really have nothing else to say because they don't give more of an argument. They repeat the same things over and over again. So I really don't have more to say about this. Like,
it's just she admits to so many things, and then she makes it seem as if she's being accused of this out of nowhere, or something like that, or she couldn't possibly have alts. Admits to it, and then it's confusing why somebody would think that she's saying certain things.
Yeah, there's no argument. And then she comes in here yelling at me and telling me how to control my platform. What? This is my platform. I get to do whatever I want here. You could talk to all the shit you want about me in your channel. I will never tell you not to talk shit about me on your channel. How the fuck? Who are you? Like, why are you coming here talking shit about me?
What do you think this relationship is between us, BX? Like, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
From the start on Twitter, when I asked you the first time in a DM, not even in a DM, on a quote tweet, the quote tweets that are the problem. Why don't you go report that? I was looking at it from your perspective as a mother as well. And I couldn't even ask that question. Asking a question, that was too far. That wasn't allowed. I was supposed to just take your word for it. And I said, if that happens,
there's elements here. There's elements here that are enough to raise suspicion. And for her to act like there isn't is ridiculous. And like I said, the fact that she fights against you hearing the other stories so bad, and the fact that all these other people do that, to me, shows a lack of confidence in their story. They don't feel confident that their story is good. They can't, because if they did, they wouldn't be afraid of it. They would let it happen and then call out the lies. And, BxBullet did that, and I'm okay, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Good job. You said that us having this guy on here was immoral somehow, but from all I've seen is that it's done you good, because you were able to find a lie, at least from your side, if you're confident in your story. I'm looking at it from your perspective, where if I saw that and I was you and I watched that stream and I caught a lie from Matt, I would be like, oh shit, good thing they did this stream. I totally caught this lie. Awesome. You should be thanking me. Instead, she's treating it like we did something immoral. What did we do? What do we do?
I just don't get it. And that's what's also what gives you the nickname of BX Backtrack, because you try to catch lies while backtracking on your own admission of things. And so then it's even more confusing.
But I also want to bring back that thing where BxBullet tweeted that guy and said, oh, he thinks you're in my community and this and that. You tweeted out about us. You tweeted us out and you amplified our live stream. That guy is in your community. You don't want to admit it, but he saw it because you tweeted it. You understand? Now, if I tweet out one of your videos, I promise you that nobody who follows me on Twitter is going to go threaten you or try to take a channel down. Nobody. Okay? You could say he's not in your community all you want. Regardless, he saw it because of you, because you tweeted out and lied about us. I've caught you lying. I told you, remember these lies that you say about me. I told you to remember those. I don't know if you did, but if you did, congratulations. We're here. You lied about me, and this is it. This is it. I think I still have some of those. Let's see. I screen capped some of these lies. Let's see. P.S. I blocked those two idiots standing Matt Brockett. That's a lie. We never stand him.
Not
We never
once.
promoted him or even said he was innocent in any way. We never did any of those things.
Mhm.
People who defend guys like that discuss. Let me hold on. I'm sorry. Let me put it on the screen, guys. I'm sorry. Let's do this. Share screen. Do it like this. I don't think these are going to be in order, but we'll share it and go through the things she's tweeted about me, right? Okay, P.S. I blocked those two idiots standing Matt Brockett. That's a lie. People who defend guys like that disgust me. Another lie. We never defended them. Bullshit. Just thought I'd put them on blast. No, oh, what did she just say? I just thought I'd put them on blast for lies that she made about us.
Hold on,
So
hold on.
I promise you guys, prove to us that we stand or defended Matt Brockett. Everything we did was give our opinion on the stories being told.
I just want to stop you for 1 second there because she's doing it once again live, coming at you live.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, he's telling me I should be thanking him for slandering me and for an entire
When did I slander
hour
him?
and telling my stuff
Sue me.
out behind a block nonstop.
Sue me.
We literally did
Sue
not
me.
do that, ma'am.
Sue me.
Please, with
Sue me for
respect.
slander. I
Please,
dare you, and I
listen
dare
to
you
the
to
fucking
find
words.
me slandering
We
you.
did not do that.
Dare
We said,
you.
if anything,
Next.
you should be thanking us because of the fact that we're
Yep.
letting him talk.
Yep.
And if he is caught on the lie on anything, when you
All
listen
right, well,
to this back,
no, wait. Here's the thing. If we're not helping you, BX, delete that clip. Don't stop telling people he lied on my stream and delete that clip because we didn't help you. So for you to use that clip and say that he's lying and you to use that clip as further evidence of him lying is you using us and saying that we helped you. So don't do that then. Then you're not allowed to use it on your own logic. I just mentioned that I reached out in good faith, but this guy Alf has been talking shit nonstop and annoying the fuck out of me. First off, she had me blocked. So how does she even know I'm talking shit about her? How does she even know? And if I am, she's a public figure and I'm allowed to talk about. She can follow my Twitter all she wants. I didn't block her. She could screen cap anything I post on Twitter and go put criticisms of me on the internet. I'm not going to say anything. I don't give a shit. I'll defend myself and that's it. Sorry if I made an invalid assumption. That was to Sean that she talked to, that she thought he had seen the DM she sent them, but he hadn't seen it and she made a mistake. But this was my worst and last planned deception with Destiny. Oh, this is something else. My whole point, Alec Baldwin, the combo with that, which is funny. Right here is where she mentions, oh, this is the Destiny thing that she mentions that she doesn't know the difference between should and should be allowed to. And this guy said, how does it not make sense? Should means someone is morally compelled to do something. Should be allowed to means that the action is morally permissible and not necessarily required. Correct. Yeah, that question he asked me is, should be allowed? Yeah. What else he said? He's live now lying and saying he didn't scam anyone. Okay. This dude wants the clout. That's another lie as well, because I don't really care about the clout. Not the truth or facts. Correct. I don't want the truth or facts. I want to give the public the other side of the story and let them decide what the truth and the facts are. Correct. It's all about BX and him, not about the hundreds. Yes, correct. Again, not about the hundreds he scammed women, men, children, he blackmailed, and so on. Correct. It's not about that. It's about we found BxBullet through watching Destiny and Hunter and them, and then we saw this video of her accusations and then looked into her own story on this, found suspicious things, and decided, man, maybe we should hear the other guy's side of this story. And hear both sides of this story. But funny thing happened on the way to hearing his side of the story, right? Funny thing happened. Yeah, I don't care that he did those things. I don't. There's no expectation or moral obligation for me to care that he did those things. Only thing I care about is that people get to hear his side and decide for themselves.
She's saying he's begging me to sue him. LOL. Sir, if you are desperate enough to make money off a known child predator, you don't have enough money for me to sue you. That is rich, right? That is rich, BX. Because you were saying,
I'll put that on the screen. Can you screen cap that? I want to show how now she's continuing to lie about us. Now, let me explain how this is a lie. She's saying we took money from a child predator. Let me explain how this is a lie. One, it is not immoral for me to take money from this man. It is not. If he offered to pay me, I would have taken it. But guess what? I did it for free. I offered it. Huh? Dog, anything Spectre did is true and cannot be lying. I was one of the people he... Yeah, but what does that have to do with anything?
Scamming. We're aware of the scamming. We're not denying the scamming.
Techables, I don't know if I'm guessing you missed a huge portion of this because you're coming in with arguments that have nothing to do with what's being said here. So, Techables, since you're here, you can represent the other side. I'm going to explain to you my side of this. You tell me what I did that's immoral, right? So I looked at BxBullet's content. I found, all right, you're continuing to talk about things that have nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Please stop. And listen to what I have to say and then argue what I did being wrong. I looked at BxBullet's beef with this guy. I looked at her entire side of the story. I saw her. She had multiple videos on this. I watched those videos. We did streams on it. I read her entire Google Doc. LOL, relax. No. All right. Well, that's the end of that. You fucked it up. See ya. You're out. I already said, don't come to my channel and tell me how to run my channel. If you cannot come here and argue with me without dodging, without telling me how to act, without these things, I don't need to hear from you. So now you just stopped me halfway through my story of what my argument is. Now you don't get to hear it. So I guess the only way to get views anymore is drama content. That's not really. I actually get views.
How difficult is it to just sit quiet and listen to what is being presented to you?
This is not, I'm going to prove this guy wrong. You want to see how I get views? I'm going to show you how I get views. This is how I get views. This is how I get views. That's how I get views. Okay? Oh, you can't see it?
It's embarrassing. That's not true.
What do you see on this?
You
don't need to hear it. I'm just saying, this is how I get views. I don't need to stream to make views. I get 3 to 4 times my views on my edited videos. So I don't need this to get views. I did this because this is where they don't listen, because every time I tried to hear a side of a story, I was told I was not allowed to hear that side of the story. That's what I was told. Every single time I tried to hear it, I was told that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I took it off. So, yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, it takes time. But that's the point, all right? So, again, these are all lies. She just lied about us right now on the internet, said that we took money. When on the stream we did with him, I made a claim. I made the case that I would take money from him. And I told him if he wants to pay me for this, feel free to. But I'm not asking you to. So whether he paid me or not is irrelevant. But you know he didn't pay me, because if he did pay me, I would tell you he did, because I don't find anything immoral with him paying me to tell his side of the story. In fact, somebody hasn't been paying attention, which is fine. But, how are you going to argue against me unless you're paying attention? But I argued in the Hunter thing that he wasn't in any moral obligation to not take that money.
Yeah.
He literally would have been 100% in the right to take that money and have Matt on the stream. Why is that immoral? That's my argument, is where would have Hunter done wrong there? Duh. That's been the whole thing.
You're not friends with Hunter. You were antagonizing him to get him to react to you, make a video response on the things that you were saying to him.
Yep.
What favor does he owe you? Are you his bestie?
Yep.
Just that Destiny was your bestie too, and all of a sudden, oh no, the DGG, you're not
So here we go. Yeah, I watched for a bit. All they did was talk shit about Bullet, which is not true. I criticized her behavior and her proof on this. I didn't say anything about her personally. It was all about things she put out publicly that were inconsistent. Talk shit about me and agree with his lies. We didn't agree with lies. We gave affirmation that we heard his story. We didn't agree with his lies. Nowhere did we say what he was saying is true. What we were doing was asking him questions and having him tell his side. We weren't there to tell him he's lying. We're not journalists. We weren't there to bust him on shit. We were there to let him speak. He could possibly bust himself in speaking. Let him. That's my thing. I let people hang themselves. I let people talk and let them hang themselves. Watch my clip channels. All I do is clip people busting on themselves. And I highlight their own words. You know what I'm saying? I don't call them things. I highlight their own words because they bust on themselves. And some guy was saying he was in Inception and a victim was promptly removed. That's not exactly how it happened. He kept coming in and he kept bringing up stuff we were already past. And I told him, hey, man, I get, I even addressed them. You can watch it and it's addressed in the stream. Mm-hmm. And I said, hey, man, we already talked about that. We're past the scamming stuff. This isn't about that, right? Yeah. We're past that. And then he kept bringing it up. So guess what? My mod banned him because he wouldn't stop talking about it, about something that we already told him. We're done. I'm not censoring him. He can go open a YouTube channel and talk about it all he wants. Nobody here is going to tell him or anyone else not to listen to his YouTube channel. If he has a YouTube channel or if he goes on, say, BxBullet stream, none of us are going to go attack her and say, how dare you have this guy on? You're not allowed to hear his story. That's not the point. The point wasn't to hear all sides of the story. The point was to hear the one side that was forbidden, that was taboo to listen to. Yeah. And what our point was is, why is it taboo? Right. Why is it forbidden? It should not be. And I will stand by that. That is my principle. I will stand on it. And there's nothing you guys can do, how much you bully me, I'm going to stand by my principles. And I got people that will stand behind me too. I guess what Alpaca was saying about wanting to hear all sides was a lie. That it was not a lie. I said I wanted to hear both sides of the story. Both entails two. The story being the beef between BxBullet and this Mac guy. Right? I heard one side of the beef. I was not allowed to hear the other. That's the entire point. But this is what I mean about them twisting it and tricking it. Hey, man, I've had some negative experience with Matt. Okay, he's applicably threatened me with violence. He cannot handle criticism, lashes out in insane ways against others when called out for. Okay, that's fine. But then he does that. If he wants to do that with us, we'll handle it then. But what does that have to do with wanting to hear both sides of the story and giving him a place so that he could tell his side of the story, right? Because every time he tries to tell his side of the story, people attack me or people attack whoever's doing it, right? Look, Gabagool King, I don't know who you are. I think you're a streamer or something. I don't know much about you. But if you're coming here and you want to hear my side of the story, I'll tell you my side of the story. I'll ask you what I did so wrong that people keep coming after me. Like, because I personally don't feel I did anything wrong. In fact, I feel I'm standing up for my principles. Guy.
Yeah, you had him on your stream, and he explained why that clip was saved and what the purpose of that clip was. And it was deemed that it was a morally bankrupt thing to do. And Matchley agreed with you that is kind of like a really nasty thing to do. But it could have been anything because of the harassment going back and forth. It could have been anything that they were wanting to clip and then report for.
I understand you're not criticizing.
I know you're not.
My argument is people keep coming at us, and I understand you had them on to tell your side of the story. So did we. So we both did similar things. But for us, we're getting attacked for it. Yeah. We didn't, in our stream, we didn't say that he was right. We didn't say he was innocent.
I never said he was a saint.
We didn't say, don't go listen to BxBullet's side of the story. In fact, we said, go listen to her story. We said, go check out her video on this. Go look at all her evidence. She has a Google Doc. We directed them, told them how to find her name and where to go get her side of the story. But us, every time, I know you might have had him on a stream, but I don't know you. So I didn't see that. I didn't know about that. where I came into this was this base was with Hunter, and then after that, this guy called Base Centrist had Matt on to hear his side of the story, and me and Chris, this guy had 9 followers on Twitch.
Barely.
4 people watching at the time that we jumped in. So we were part 2 of those 4.
Yeah.
Right. And we're in the chat wanting to hear this guy's side of the story. And what happens? BxBullet, a bunch of people from our community and possibly people not from our community all jump in and freak the fuck out. They tell this base centrist guy, cease and desist, she told him.
Yeah, she threatened
this
him
is a
with
warning.
cease and desist.
Cease and desist.
And he's like, I don't
Like
think
what?
you can do that.
Does that sound like manipulative bullying?
Yeah.
That sounds like you're trying to bully someone.
And then it
to
comes
not do
down
something.
to
Why?
you have to ask her permission in
Yeah.
order to talk to him and hear his
Yeah.
side. We're not supporting
Mhm.
everything that he's done. Again, we're
No.
not claiming
I
he's
don't
a
know him.
saint.
I don't even know what he
Yeah.
does online. I don't know him.
All we wanted to do was hear the other side. And that's a problem for some reason.
That's the issue here. The issue here is we wanted to hear the other side. We wanted him to come on to let him tell his side of the story. And we've been nothing but attacked since that day. Now, it's right. He also admitted on my stream to getting minors to sign.
We're up to speed with
He was doing
everything.
the
If
esports
he
stuff.
shared that with you, he shared that
Yeah.
with us too.
If you have a stream already with that stuff, then what's the issue here?
Yeah, what's
like that's why I'm saying I'm
Yeah.
still trying to get down to what the issue is
We
that
still
people
don't know
have
what
with
we've
me
done wrong.
doing
here.
what I did.
We're
Like
not
what did
taking
I do wrong?
sides. We agree that there's been scamming involved.
Now,
More egregious things have been said.
like
and-
literally Gabagool King, you could come in here. My morality is that everyone's side of their story needs to be told. It deserves to be told. There's no such thing as listen to me and don't listen to that side. I don't think you should be attacked for simply getting your own. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And not only was I getting my own information, but I was sharing information with the public for them to make their own decisions. BxBullets, and I know you said you had him on. I don't know how big you are. I don't know much about you. My apologies. But BxBullet has a maybe not a huge channel, but a significant amount of audience. And she's even admitted herself that this story has been viral. So her side of the story on this beef, I'm not even saying other people who were scammed by them. I just mean the beef between them two, which is what we were focused on, right? Because that's what we know about this is from the beef between these two. So we heard all of BxBullet's story. Her story is very public. Everybody's heard it. But every time this guy wants to go on a stream and tell his side of the story, the people get attacked for it. We don't like that. I actually think letting Matt talk is beneficial for victims because I think the more he talks, if this is true, like you're saying these things, if those things are true, then it was good that you had him on to talk, right? Because you got him to admit things that he hadn't admitted to that point. When he was on my stream, BxBullet just tweeted out right after that he lied about something and she caught him in a lie talking to us, right? So how is giving him a platform to tell his side of the story immoral on my part? Why do I deserve? I mean, Gabagoo King said he doesn't agree. By the way, I love Gabagoo. Gotta eat that Gabagoo. I love Gabagoo. But like you said, you don't think I deserve to be attacked. So that's my question and why I'm streaming this is why am I being attacked and been attacked for like the last 2 days by people over nothing? You know what I'm saying? Like over nothing, over doing nothing wrong. And that's basically the issue. I've had BxBullet tweet to her audience and lie about me. She says I'm defaming her, but I'm really just giving my critique and opinions on her personality. If she wants to give a critique on me, if she wants to say, I think this, I think that, that's fine. But what she does is she goes out and tweets, he's getting paid. You know what I'm saying? I'm literally not getting paid, but I said I don't have a problem with getting paid by him.
Yeah.
So if I was getting paid by him, I would just say it. I don't find it immoral. So why lie about that? You know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm talking about. Like she's lying about things she doesn't need to lie about. And for what? You know what I'm saying?
People have said to us, oh, we need to hear both sides, and we especially need to hear BxBullet's side. And we say, but we have heard BxBullet's side.
Yes.
Many times we've heard BxBullet's side. However, we haven't heard ReignPlasma, Matt's side.
And that was the whole
all of a sudden, you get blocked for that, or you get yelled at and said, like, how could you still want to have this person on after you learning all this stuff about him? And it's like, but we just want to hear the other side.
And see, thank you, Gabagol, for being respectful and coming in and actually having a conversation. Unlike everyone else who's come in here and just either told me how to run my channel or repeat arguments that have nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, or flame out like that one girl did. And it's like, you know, if you guys have a legitimate argument with me, there's no reason for you to come in heated. There's no reason for you to come in and tell me what I can or can't do on here. You know what I'm saying? You could just come in and go, I think you did this wrong because of this. And then I'll tell you, well, I don't think it's wrong because I think this is a principle that is good and blah, blah, blah. And I'll give you reasons why I think what I did was actually moral as opposed to immoral. I actually think I did something good because I think the more you share information, the better. Like Abagul King said, I don't think you should be attacked for getting your own information. That's exactly what I was doing. You understand. This is exactly what I was doing. All I was doing was getting my own information and making a place where the public can decide for themselves and see both sides. I don't even have that big of a viewership. That's what I'm saying. These people are coming here and bitching to me about 4 people watching something. I think if you talk with each of them individually, you know what's what. Yeah, I get that. But my contention isn't, I don't care if this guy is a scammer. I don't care if he's a child predator. What I care about is that when people want to have this guy on to hear his side of the story, he could be a serial killer. John Wayne Gacy got to tell his side of the story. You know what I'm saying? Fucking Jeffrey Dahmer got to tell his side of the story. Charles Manson, with me growing up in the 80s, Charles Manson was still all over television telling his side of the story, you know, acting like a complete madman, you know, on TV. But this is the point, is that regardless of what he's done, and I understand he may have done something wrong, but there's nobody out there who's saying, don't listen to those people, right? There's nobody out there like if somebody is a victim of his, like that one Josh or John, whatever that was in here, if he made a channel on YouTube talking about this and telling his side of the story, I don't think there's going to be a large group of people coming at him. You know what I'm saying? Or if, what is that, a bee? Oh, motherfucking, we got a bee in here. It kind of looks like a wasp. But I don't think there's anybody really going around trying to stop him. I don't think there's anybody who's going to get mad at you and threaten you and come at you and mass over platforming that kid. You know this is what I'm saying. The point of why we had him on is because this is the one person who, when I tried to hear his side, people attack and don't want you to hear it. That will always raise suspicion. Always. And I don't think it's outlandish for me to think that there's something suspicious when somebody's telling you, only listen to my side, don't listen to his side, right? Now, me saying I'm going to go listen to his side and have him on is not me saying I'm going to agree with everything he said. But yet, even before I had him on, I was attacked by people and attacked with lies. And then on top of that, the other lie that they tell me, oh, you can't have him on unless you look at all the evidence. Okay, I read the evidence. And then they still have a reason for me not to have him on. Wait, but I just did what you asked of me. You told me to check out the evidence. I told you. I watched her videos. I went through her entire Google Doc, right? Now, can I have him on? No, I have to have him on in the way they want me to have him on, right? I can't have him on the way I want to have him on my platform. I have to have him on the way they're telling me with their rules, and they're saying, well, why didn't you push back on this? Why didn't you ask him about that? I'm not here to push back or ask. I'm here to find out what he says is his story. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Why is that an issue? You know, I don't think it is. But
even Base Centrist had invited her to come on a stream the next day, and she declined. So why is anybody having to give her? You know, it was really nice of him to have done that, to offer to have her on after going through everything and stuff like that. She declined. So instead, he goes over the document that she's passing off as her diary now, even where it says in one part of it, disclaimer, this is not proof to convict him with anything that they're claiming. So, you know, this is what people are like, it's shady things that we're looking at, and this conclusion that she's 100% saying is absolutely true is questionable. It's not that we don't buy it 100%. It's questionable.
The major thing is that there is no issue. They're just angry that they're not getting their way. But the truth is, there is no issue there. We did nothing wrong.
why are we the platform that has to invite her on when we've already heard everything that she's already put out there publicly, and says, go look at my document diary, whatever she's calling it today.
I mean, at some point, people have to realize they can't always get what they want. And people are going to have to listen to the other side at some point. Even if you take this to trial, you know he's going to get to testify his side, right? And you know he's going to tell his side of the story. And that will be public information. Like if anybody actually wanted to know, they'll be able to request transcripts of that court case, right? And they'll know what his side of the story was. So what's the issue? There is no issue. That this is what I'm saying, and this is why it's made me laugh for the last like 2 days, is that there's literally no issue here. Literally nothing wrong happened. You know what I'm saying? And anything that went wrong happened because of their spazzing out, because they freaked out, you know what I'm saying, and acted erratic and emotional when they didn't need to. If they acted rationally, they would have said, well, he got to talk. Why don't we watch it and see if we can document where we catch him lying or double talking, or you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I would have done. So it's strange to me that their first reaction wasn't, let's watch it and catch him in lies. Their first reaction was, let's go attack, you know, let's threaten him. Let's tell him he's a pedophile apologist because he's listening to a story. You know what I'm saying? Let's lie and say he's defending and standing and, you know, all these things. Like you guys are saying I'm defending and standing somebody I don't even know. Like, I don't even know what he does on his channel. I didn't mention his Twitch channel because I don't know it. I know his Twitter because he follows me, but I didn't even say what his Twitter was on stream. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know what name he goes by now, and I didn't show that. But I did say where to find BxBullet's side of the story. So if anything, I was promoting her side of the story.
And like she says that she's not paying attention and she's largely ignoring it. But ma'am, that is just not true. You're so up your own ass about this shit right now. It's hilarious.
Okay, let's see. 100 people involved. Let's see. She's tweeting about us, right? This is all about us. Because Matt blames everything on me and tells everyone he manipulates. That it's all me. Mind you, we wanted to talk to Matt without hearing his side of the story. So that has nothing to do with us, right?
And she previously admitted to having alt accounts to validate and make her side look more credible. So naturally, I assumed a couple accounts that were responding to both of us and just being belligerent with us, that it could have been her.
I also want to mention that BxBullet on stream, I have the video clip, said herself that she manipulates people for good.
Yes,
so her saying that Matt manipulates people, is that good or bad? So it's only bad because he's doing it for bad and not for good. Is that what the argument is there? But regardless, just an internet war between me and him. Yes, that's the part we're interested in. If it's bigger than that, we're not interested in the bigger umbrella thing. We're only interested on, we heard BX's side. Now we want to hear the other side. That is our interest in this. They ignore everyone telling them there are hundreds of people. Yes, and we'll continue to ignore that because that has nothing to do with us. I've had nothing to do with this as of late. Okay, so continue to have nothing to do with it. This has to do with a video and a Google Doc you put out a while ago. If you don't want to continue to have stuff to do with it, you either take those down or let people respond to them later on and either ignore it or don't worry about it or make videos about that.
Right.
But to have something public and then say, well, I don't even have anything to do with it. Why are they talking about that? It's public. We're going back and watching something that you put out months ago, maybe, but it's still something you have on your channel that's public for us to respond to. And tweeting my stuff out behind my block nonstop for days. That's fine. There's public things you are putting out. If you want your Twitter to be private, you can put it on private. But if you just block us, that means you're ignoring us.
And
everything you put out publicly can still be publicly seen.
She'll leave out that she's blocked and unblocked us to respond and then try to ignore but still respond to us.
Yeah.
She has us blocked.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem with that. I don't go and freak out and make a criticism that, she's post tweeting and screen capping my stuff and posting. I don't care. You could do that all you want. I have no complaint about that.
I asked her a tweet asking a question to the things that I saw her putting out about this back in January, and my questioning what she had put out. Just one tweet that I saw of hers that she put out about this. I think it may have been on your stream that she was like clipping this certain part from. I got blocked immediately for asking a question of why don't you report that person putting that on his stream now for content, because that's how she worded things, that this is now being this clip of her child is now being used for content on somebody else's stream. That's how she worded this shit. So I said, if that's happening, that would obviously be awful, but why don't you report that? Blocked immediately. I commented in her comment section, blocked immediately and accused of being her harasser and stalker.
Right. But mind you, in her video against Hunter, and they were beefing on the internet, Hunter blocks her. And what does she say? And then Hunter blocked me like a pussy.
Yeah.
So what does that make you if you keep blocking people? We're not against blocking. We don't think people who block people are pussies. So we'll block people. That's fine. But if you're going to call someone a pussy for blocking someone, maybe you shouldn't be the one blocking, or you're talking about yourself, right? All right. So he's begging me to sue him. Yes, because you said I was slandering you, which was a lie. So I said, if you're so confident that I'm slandering you, sue me. Sir, if you're desperate enough for money to make, again, the money thing, which I've already explained, I'm not morally against accepting money from Matt. He just didn't offer to pay. And I didn't ask him to pay me. I asked him to come on for free. And I told him, he brought it up. He said, oh, am I paying you? I said, no, I'm not against you paying me, though. If you want to pay me, feel free, But if you don't want to, that's fine. I don't need the money. I'm not against her paying. So why would I lie about that? You don't have enough money for me to see. Whether I did or not is irrelevant, because I have many lawyer friends and I could get representation for free. But on top of that, I'm 100% confident that if you went to the lawyer with everything I've said and said you wanted to sue me for slander, that he would laugh in your face, because I in no way did anything illegal. I in no way slandered you. Everything I've done and said about you is exactly the things you've said. And I've taken what you've said and given my opinion on your public statements and your public behavior.
And honestly, that one tweet is so ironic to her, actually, because she was just complaining and seeming kind of desperate about the fact that she can't afford a lawyer. She doesn't have 20,000 lying around to just throw in a lawyer, and she also can't pay her gas bill. Yeah, which is another issue. But ma'am, what are you fucking doing?
And then this other one, he seems to think they are part of my community. It's not blame, but it's all because you tweeted it out, though, right? You seem to have a thing with this. This kind of happened with Mr. Girl, right? And then she said, no, I didn't do it, and then apologized for it as if she felt bad for it, and then took back the apology, which I feel shows she didn't feel bad about it in the first place. It was only apologizing to satiate the situation, right? Like, it had nothing to do with her feeling bad about what she did. She wasn't really apologizing, because a person who really apologizes wouldn't take back an apology after somebody rejects it. They'd just be like, well, it's up to you whether you accept or reject. I actually feel bad, so I keep my apology there. You know what I'm saying? Right. So my apology's out in the open, right? But yeah, blaming me for other people speaking, huh? He thinks they're part of, and is now blaming me. I'm not blaming you for people speaking out. I'm blaming you for people threatening me. They were talking to you, threatening me. Okay? So I did not go to you at all on this. I didn't tag you. I didn't DM you. I didn't show up on your stream. I didn't do any of those things, okay? Your people came to me. People that have to do with this came to me. If they don't have to do with you, fine. But they themselves can't argue why I did anything wrong. And I know you can't either. None of you can, because I didn't do anything wrong. How many communities are involved? He doesn't realize how many. I don't care how many communities are involved. In fact, all of you communities out there, find one representative from each of you and come in here and try to tell me what I did wrong. I dare you. But he blamed all for Fumer J comments on me. Okay, but you tweeted out lies about me, and he was one of those people who saw the lies about me through your community, who was coming after me at the time, right? Your community came after me first. Then he showed up because of your community, right? Go in there and say anything and he'll ban you immediately. Not true. And that's evident by people coming in here saying things and not getting banned. Look at Gabacool King came in here. He had his say. We spoke back and forth. He realized I did nothing wrong and that I'm saying what I did. Plainly, I didn't argue with him. I didn't ban him. I didn't get angry with him. He didn't tell me, but look at, he didn't tell me how to run my channel, and he understood what I'm trying to do.
Yeah,
you know
listened.
why? Because he listened to me,
Yeah.
and he wasn't uncharitable towards me and go, oh, you're getting paid. Oh, you're doing this. Oh, you're defending him. You know what I'm saying? Why not just ask me? Why not just listen to me and what I'm saying? You know, as opposed to attacking me and lying about me and spreading false information about me. Yeah, thank you, Grant. My best mod. If I ban you, it's because you're being a cunt. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. And it's funny for BxBullet to say that anybody who comes in here gets banned immediately when the first thing she said was, stop talking about my kid. You know what I'm saying? Telling me what to do with my own platform. Get out of here. You don't get to do that.
Yeah, she says one thing in
alley
the chat
chick
here, but she says on like, who the fuck is Alf Banyu guy, and why is he talking about my naked child on his YouTube stream? I know you want to present yourself as this Reba McEntire, Mother Teresa, single mother, does her job, loves her kids, blah 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 blah. You're rude. You're very rude.
But I think I'm fine with her tweeting that, because I think anybody who looks at that, even people from her own audience, are gonna understand why I would talk about that. They understand that she has had that as a public accusation against someone for a long time. They all know that. Her whole audience knows the story.
Yeah.
If not, I don't understand. But I would assume her whole audience knows the story. So in saying that, I think her whole audience knows that she publicly talks about that thing. That is public evidence, public a public accusation against someone. So therefore, it can be spoken about in public discourse. If you don't like it, I'm sorry, but maybe you shouldn't put stuff online. You don't want to be part of public discourse.
Yeah, she still hasn't understood that either.
There's the thing, like, just like the thing with Destiny and Zerka. Now, I understand where she could get mad and saying Destiny is lying and saying I slept. I get where you get emotionally upset. For me, I say, I understand why Destiny thought that. That would be the expectation. You can easily just go, oh, no, listen, Destiny, that's not true. Instead, you flip out, get mad. I didn't do that. You seeming so defensive and getting so mad makes it even more suspicious. And now I actually believe BxBullet on this. I actually think she didn't sleep with him, but I don't blame Destiny for thinking that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the point. And instead of getting very angry about it, you have to understand that, you know, when things are public, you're allowing a public discourse. You publicly said Zerka stayed over. So publicly, Destiny had a public opinion on that, right? And his opinion on that was, oh, they slept together, right? Especially because of some beef that happened with her and Cherry, and she said a joke that seemed like it could have been real. Maybe, but that would be your own fault for making that joke. And then again, there's an expectation there that some people might think that it's either you weren't joking and it's true, or an honest joke where you're joking but telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? That happens too. So there's an expectation there for people to think that. Now, for you to get really upset and jump in and go, oh, why are you talking about this and on your channel and blah, blah. It's public information. Destiny can have public discourse about any public information he wants. The better way to deal with that would be to be like, hey, listen, I really don't like this. And, you know, maybe if you're kind and go, listen, I'm not, my channel's not like that. I don't like, but it's not true. She goes after people.
Exactly.
So she leaves herself up to be gone after, on top of the point that she takes public things people says and gives her opinion and critiques on it. So then other people can take what she says publicly. This is a very one-sided person that I'm seeing. Okay, there's a person who says she's always right, everyone's always wrong, she's always the victim, everyone else is always victimizing her. But the truth is, there are expectations in public and on the internet. When you put something out in the public, that is open to be criticized. Like I said, I have zero problem with her putting pictures of her kids up there. I have zero problem with anyone putting pictures of the kids up. But if you are a YouTuber, a public commenter, if you're a person who criticizes other people, maybe goes after people, maybe a kind of internet detective sleuth who tries to prove accusations of people, like these things that you are leaves you open to have the same things happen to you. Law enforcement knows this. Nobody becomes a police officer without having the expectation that they could be shot, right?
No one becomes a bounty hunter.
Mhm.
BxBullet. Nobody becomes a bounty hunter
Well, so I'm
without
saying-
knowing this shit.
Yeah, but nobody becomes these kind of people without knowing they can be shot. So you can't become a cop and a month later get shot and go, oh, what the fuck? I got shot? I didn't know I could get shot. What's going on? I don't like that I could get shot. I'm going to sue the police. And you know what I'm saying? Like you can't do that because the expectation is that you might get shot. The point of becoming a cop is to put yourself in the line of danger in order to stop others, right? From creating danger. So if you're a person who's going to go out there and compile evidence on people and make accusations on people and compile evidence on them, remember that leaves you open to someone compiling evidence on you and making a case on you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the expectation. And I don't understand how she doesn't get that expectation, you know? I have friends. Well, you know, I've been on the internet for a long time. Had this YouTube channel for a long time. I've had friends who used to do YouTube, and then it got a little too public, and they said, you know what, I changed my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And they back out, they delete their channel, and they back out. Totally fine,
Mm-hmm.
right? They understood the public expectation. They're like, you know what, I'm making videos, I'm critiquing people. Now they're starting to critique me.
Yeah.
I got to worry about some other shit in my life. I can't be doing that. I'm going to back out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I've had tons of friends like that, right? But I have other friends who understand that, and they keep their private life separate from their public. Like Sean is a good example. He's got almost 200K subscribers. We're personal friends of his. We know things about his personal life. We don't talk about that publicly, right? Mm-hmm. He doesn't talk about that publicly,
no.
Right? Because that's his private life. And he doesn't want people criticizing those things about his public life. He doesn't want people coming after people in his private life. So does he A, decide to show all those things publicly anyway, and then get upset when anybody uses that to critique him? Or B, don't talk about it and try his best to keep that out of public view so that people don't talk about that, right?
Yeah. That's
the expectation. Like, that's how it works. I know I'm not a very private person. Like most things you ask me on the internet, I'll tell you, I'm not private. You know, they try to say we hide behind avatars. You can find my face and multiple streams on other people's channels, on this channel. Like, you know, that's a dumb ploy people use. Alf is a fake name. No, it's not. My name is Alf. Ask anyone. Ask Grant, my mod in the chat. Ask anybody who follows my channel what my name is. They'll tell you who I am. They'll tell you I'm a 43-year-old. They'll tell you my name's Alf. They'll tell you everything about me. Yeah, I'm not a person hiding stuff. I don't mind, and I don't mind you critiquing those stuffs about me. When Alicia goes out and she goes, this 43-year-old is arguing with a 17-year-old, like trying to publicly humiliate me for arguing with 17-year-old. I retweet that and I show her I'm not humiliated by this. Yeah. Everybody who follows me knows I'm 43 years old. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like you saying it out loud is changing anything. I'm not ashamed of being 43 years old. So it's stupid to do that, right? And then I retweet that and I go, yes, I'm a 43-year-old arguing with a 17-year-old who thinks she's old enough to come on the internet and call me stupid. Yeah. You know, and say that I'm a liar. When then I ask her to prove to me and argue with me and prove to me that I'm a liar. You know what I'm saying? Prove it. Prove to me that I'm dumber than you. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? You want to make these claims. You're old enough to come on the internet and make claims like that. Then why aren't you old enough to discuss those claims and try to prove them? You know?
Like telling me that your life is boring. I realized that because you know what? Not too long ago, you were a child. You're still not even, your brain isn't even done developing. Like,
I think we've said everything that needs to be said now. I think we might end this now. I don't think anybody else is coming in. I think it kind of got deflated. I don't know how this Gabagool King guy came. I think he's the one where that clip comes from.
Yeah,
right?
He's the original person.
Even in that clip, he does. The clip does. Matt does say he did it for TOS terms of service, right?
It gets whittled down to all that matters is that he admitted to having it saved, and the fact that it's morally bankrupt. That's the takeaway.
Right.
That's where they stop listening.
Right.
They don't
And we
wanna hear
talked
that
about
there's
that.
back and forth harassment going on with both
And we
of them.
talked about that on our stream with him, and he gave a certain account. Now, if you, the public, want to match that account with Gabagool King's video, which is in BxBullet's video, then you can do that, and you can go see and judge for yourself. That's been our point the whole time, for the public to judge for itself and not just listen to one side telling you that they're the truth and not to listen to the other side, okay? We don't, I think it kind of got deflated after Gabagool King came in. I don't know if she sent them or he saw that this was going on and he came in. But I'm glad he was charitable and listened, because
I actually think maybe the Alyssa person is what brought him in, because she was tagging him in
Oh, was
tweets
she?
as well.
Yeah.
So maybe he saw something on.
yeah,
Twitter.
and I understand that girl's 17 years old. She
Yeah.
needs to chill the fuck out. like I understand you're a kid. I understand that you feel really strong about this.
Stop
But chill out.
instigating people who
Yeah.
you think are pedophiles to come and talk to you.
But you
Stop
acting
doing that.
like this and being irrational makes it worse for your argument, makes it worse for your side. You acting like a maniac whenever you can't form an argument to make your point is hurting your side. When I ask you, what did I do wrong? And you don't answer that, and you say a bunch of other shit and start going into things Matt did, what does that have to do with me? You know what I'm saying? And then when I keep asking, no, listen, answer this question. What did I do wrong? Right? I kept asking her, what did I do wrong? And what does she eventually do? No, you, no, you, no, you. You know what I'm saying? And you spurg out. That doesn't help your side. If you came in here calmly and had this discussion with me, I think I could have gotten you to understand that there's nothing wrong with what we did. You know what I'm saying? If BxBullet came in here and didn't demand how I talk on my channel and didn't demand I do things in my channel, she could have come on the chat and said, hey, all right, what's going on? Like, why are you guys talking about this? We could have had that discussion. I could have said, well, listen, we looked at your information, and for some reason, every time we tried to look at Matt's information and hear his side of the story, a bunch of people came after us, right? And would tell us we're not allowed to. She did that. She tweeted about me and lied about me, right? We could have talked about that. We could have talked about your lies about me and why you keep tweeting out lies about me. If you think I'm being harsh in my criticisms of you, you could have come on and we could have watched the stream together, and you could have told me, I don't like this part, and I could tell you why I said those things. You know what I'm saying? And we can have that discussion. I can go through all your evidence with you, and I could tell you all the parts that I find to be shady or suspicious. That would be helpful to you. This is what you would understand. Criticisms aren't always attacks. Sometimes criticisms help you, right? Sometimes when someone gives you a critique of something, you start learning from that and go, oh shit. Like for instance, nobody ever listened to the part of this where we are saying the first thing we heard was BxBullet's side. That stream we did with Matt, that was the first time we got to hear Matt's side of the story. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Incorrect. The first time we got to hear Matt's side of the story was base centrist. Sorry, guys. At that time was a fiasco as well.
Yeah.
Right? And I was in the chat too, asking her questions. She answered some of my questions to her charity, right? To be charitable to her. She did answer some of my questions, and I didn't give her pushback on those questions, right? When she answered it, I didn't say, you're lying, or, aha, you know what I'm saying? I said, hey, is it true that you're saying this happened? She said, yes. Okay. That was my answer. Okay. There was one question I asked her 3 times, and she would never answer. And when I would ask her other questions, she would answer them. She would answer that one question. That makes it suspicious. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying, if she wanted to talk about this, she could have come in here nicely. She could have, if she wanted to. I'm not even saying she has to. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't have to do anything. She could completely ignore this. I don't care. But I'm saying, if she actually wanted to have this conversation, she could have come in here and had the conversation with me. I'm not stopping her from doing it. What stopped her from doing it is her coming in here and trying to control my channel and tell me how to talk, you know? And I don't need somebody coming in here to tell me to talk. I'm a 43-year-old man. I run my channel however I want. Or you're wanting to clout. Okay, then I want clout. Who cares? What's immoral with that?
Everybody
What's
wants
moral
clout.
about that?
First off, everybody wants clout.
No,
You're
but
fucking
even
lying.
still, this is the accusation that we want clout, right? I really don't care about clout. My clout actually comes from my edited videos, and they do way better than my live streams. But if you want to say that I want clout, I don't have a problem with that because I don't find it immoral to want clout. Like, what's so immoral about that? Not actual information about both sides. I have information about both sides. Both sides' information is said. Or hear from any of the I don't want to hear from any of the victims. Correct. That part is true. Shrug, not giving you views on any. Okay, bye. Then don't give me views. Why are you here then?
You just did
You know?
give us views.
But
what
I
are
will.
you talking about?
But let's go over
you
that.
did
right?
it already.
Again, all you're wanting is clout. Clout doesn't matter. I don't care. That's not immoral to want clout. Not actual information from both sides. We did get the information from both sides. I did a stream on BxBullet's side, and then I did a stream on Matt's side. BxBullet's side is very public. It was easy for me to find. Matt's side was not. Gabagool King said he had. To be honest with you guys, I don't mean as a diss or anything, but I don't really know who Gabagool King is. Like, I didn't even know he had that. I seen that little clip. I seen it in BxBullet's video. Now I realize that's the same person, but I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? But either way,
it looked familiar.
But either way, that still doesn't make it immoral. Like, well, first off, Roy, how come you aren't going after Gabagool King? He had him on, right? He just if you scroll up and see Gabagool King literally admits to having him on to hear his side of the story. So why are you here coming after me?
I know why. And it's really interesting that she was so nasty to Base Centrist, because Base Centrist basically has the exact same opinion as Gabagool. And 4 hours ago, Gabagool tweeted out, in his own words, he stated he was desperate to do anything possible to blackmail a single mother using a naked picture of her 3-year-old daughter. Don't know how people can still defend the subhuman. And you know what? Base Centrist agreed that shouldn't have ever been done.
Yeah, Base Centrist agreed with that, and they were still attacking
She
him.
was still
now,
nasty to him.
I will make the argument that I don't even think that's immoral. I think they're in an internet war, and I think anything you put on screen that violates terms of service is up for grabs to turn into terms of service.
You know what? I'm not buying
100%.
I don't give a shit about the damsel in distress situation, because she is not a damsel in distress. She puts this shit out there herself. She antagonizes this bullshit herself. And so I responded to him saying, we are defending the action. We wanted to know why.
Yeah, we wanted to know why.
There was harassment going on from back and forth between
we wanted to hear, you guys, we wanted to hear his explanation from his mouth what was going on throughout this fight between him and the accusations BxBullet made, right? You guys are the ones trying to make it bigger. Like this guy said, you don't want to hear from any of the victims. All you did was ban them. Yes, I do not want to hear from any of the victims. There's there's no expectation for me to listen to any of the victims. Why should I listen to any of the victims? My stream is not the story of the victims. That story is already told, and there is nobody blocking that story from being told.
Right.
That story can be easily found. In fact, we tell people where to find that story. Go to BxBullet TV. She has a YouTube channel. She has a Twitter. She has a Twitch. Go find out. Roy Lambert, if that's a public figure that just came in here and that's the name he's under, go check out his story, guys. Go check it out. He'll tell you his story. Apparently, if he's coming in here, he'll tell you his story. I'm not here to tell the story of the victims. That stream was not to tell the story of the victims. That stream was to tell the story from one side of the beef that wasn't allowed to be heard.
Yeah.
Right? Where is the immorality there?
It's just so confusing that Base Centrist got the same type of harassment from her, cease and desist threat. He walked away with the same conclusion as what Gabagool.
Am I getting a cease and desist? Is that something I'm going to get for talking about this? Like, why is this very public thing not allowed to be spoken about? Like, I don't understand. That makes me want to talk about it more.
Why attack somebody like Base Centrist as well then, that also thinks that it wasn't nice to have done that? Is it because he had him on to hear his side before asking permission? And what permission is granted? Like, who needs to ask her permission for that?
Mm-hmm.
And even if he did ask permission, would that have changed his opinion? Because without asking her permission first to have him on, he still walked away with the conclusion of that was not nice to have done, and that I understand why she's as angry as she is about that. It's confusing.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand the issue. I still don't. I've been trying to understand it for a while now. I don't get what the issue is. It seems to me there's a bunch of emotional pleading. People have their fifis hurt and they're acting like snowflakes, is what it seems like to me. And it's a bunch of SJWs trying to get me to deplatform somebody who's platformed by YouTube already. Like Matt is allowed to make a channel on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
So what is the difference of me having him on or him making his own channel and streaming everything he said on our channel?
Yeah.
What's the
the difference between
what's the
all
difference
of these
between
victims of scamming or whatever bullshit and making your own live stream about it and talking about it?
I mean,
get in a group and talk about it.
We're not even a big channel, so who cares, right?
Yeah.
That's what makes it even funnier is that they keep coming after us when there's like 8 people watching. Who cares?
All we've said is seek legal action if you're not happy with the result outside of court. And talk about it if you feel the need to talk about it. And somehow that's interpreted as we're harassing the victims and preventing them from talking.
What? No, we didn't go to any of the victims. They all came to us.
Yeah,
we didn't go to any victims. I promise you, I did not tag any victim on Twitter. I did not send any victim anything I said. To say that I'm harassing anybody is completely ridiculous because everyone came to me.
Yeah.
Right? Even in this chat, you saw this chat. I didn't harass anyone in the chat. I can't possibly harass anyone in the chat. The chat comes to me. If you think I'm harassing you or you think I'm doing something you don't like, it's not harassment because you can just leave. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And in fact, instead of harassing you, I just ban you. Right? So even better. So I don't harass you.
Yeah, we're removing the problem.
Yeah. So I'm saying it doesn't make any sense. And we weren't defending the action. We wanted to hear why. There was harassment back and forth going on for a while. This is the thing, is that they're not so upset that we platformed, is that we didn't platform in the way they want us to platform. That's the issue. Because when I ask, what did I do wrong? Nobody could tell me what I did wrong. All they do is tell me what he's done wrong.
Yeah.
And therefore, I'm wrong for having him on because he's done wrong. Like what? Right. That's guilt by association. I'm barely even associated to the guy. And I'm still getting guilt by association? This is some religious hoo-ha hogwash bullshit. Like how am I associated to the things you think he's done because I had him on to tell a side of the story? It's bullshit. You guys throwing a tantrum is the problem. It's not us. We're not the problem. All we did was have a conversation. The problem has been you guys spazzing out like a bunch of babies and throwing tantrums all over Twitter, right? And lying about us. You're throwing tantrums, lying, saying all these things about us. We're not even going to call it defamation because we don't even play that game, right? To be like, oh, you're defaming me. I don't even care if you're defaming me. But if you're lying about me, I'm going to defend myself. I'm going to start a stream and I'm going to explain myself. And anybody and everybody in my audience can see or hear what I'm saying and how to defend myself. And I'll even tell them they can go hear the other side of the story. So again, I don't have a lot of people watching, but if you guys are watching and you've heard my side of the story, feel free to go to BxBullet and ask her side of the story. Feel free to hear her side. Feel free to take her side if you think she's right in this. I'm not here to change your principles or change your morality. If your morality is that this person should never be platformed, that's you. That's fine. But I'm going to call you an SJW because that's what SJWs do. What I'm going to say is that it's a principle and morality for me to hear both sides of a story. And I'm going to continue doing that. And no amount of bullying, no amount of harassment, no amount of threats on how you're going to handle my channel is going to stop me from doing that. And I'm going to continue to do that. And I do that on TYT. I do that to TYT. I do that to Lance from the Surfs. I do that to Ian Miles Chong. I do that to BxBullet. I do that to Hunter Avalon. I do that to Destiny. I do that to everyone. Vosh. I do that to that Shark Kid, Dylan Burns, Stardust, Glink, Mr. Girl. I do that to everyone. All the people out there who put out their sides of the story, I will listen to the other side of the story if they're telling me not to, and I will also criticize anything they put out publicly as they would to me if they knew who I was. They don't know who I am, but if I was a figure, a more public figure, people would be criticizing me too. And it's happened before. I've had videos made about me. I'm not new to this game. I'm just not that big, but I've had videos. I've had vegans make videos about me. You know what I'm saying? I don't freak out about it. I just make a video back. I've had vegans talk shit about me and go try to dox me and do all these things about me. Did I freak out? No, I just invited them on my stream and we talked it out and we had debates and talked, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, I'll be waiting. If anybody watches this and you think we did anything wrong, let us know. Calmly, coolly, and give us a real valid argument. You heard my argument. My moral stance on this is that we're allowed to hear two sides of a story. One side is telling us they're the truth, don't listen to the other. And the other one is not saying anything, right? We're not hearing much from him. So we wanted to hear it. We heard it. Now, the people who watch my channel, if you heard him talking, it's up to you if you're interested in this story to hear the side heard on ours and the side heard from hers. It's very public. Anybody can hear it. And it's up to you to decide as the public what you think is the truth. I'm not here to convince you that Matt's innocent. I'm not here to convince you that BxBullet is wrong. I'm here to tell you, here's the other side of the story, and here's the parts of the story I find suspicious, right? My opinion. Now, the audience gets to use their own deductive reasoning to try to figure out who they think is right or wrong. Like I said, my opinion is this. I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. I think he did scam some people. I don't think he's a child predator in the way that she says. I don't think he's going around trying to groom children to have sex with them. I don't think that's it. That's how she's trying to paint it. I don't think that's true. I think the truth is somewhere in the middle somewhere. Maybe he has been inappropriate around children, but that doesn't mean he's a child predator, right? Maybe he did scam some people. Maybe that doesn't mean he did this much of a scam, or maybe it didn't mean that he intended it to be a scam and he just fucked up and things got over his head or something. Yo, what's up, Johnson? That's a real life buddy. It's good to see you, man. But either way, we have to hear his explanation. Hey, John, my buddy that's here. Let me ask you, bro. There's a YouTuber, right? She makes videos. She makes videos accusing a guy of being a child predator. Now, we'd watch her video. We go over it. We notice some things about her story that seem suspicious. Some evidence that she's saying says certain things, but then we look at the screen cap and it doesn't say what she's saying. Can you grab me a cup of coffee if you don't mind? And then you know, we cover that story. We think there's something suspicious, but we're not totally sure. And then we say we should hear from the other guy that she's accusing. Let's see what he has to say about this. So we find out he's doing a stream with somebody. So we go to that stream and we go check out what he has to say about the situation. Now, this YouTuber that's accusing this guy and her community and possibly other communities as well that are against this guy pop in and tell everybody that they're not allowed to listen to this guy's side of the story, right? Now, this guy that was streaming him, Based Centrist, he's kind of a, you know, listen to his name, Based Centrist, right? He's kind of a middle dude, right? So he's coming in totally neutral. He wants to hear this guy's side of the story. But they're attacking him and telling him he can't have this guy on and he can't do this and can't do that. I don't understand that. That created a huge fiasco. So then I hit this guy up and go, hey, man, my principles are you're allowed to hear all sides to all stories, right? So there's one side here that I'm seeing is being restricted from the public, and people want to be restricted from the public. So guess what? I'm going to have this guy on and hear his side of the story. Now, he comes on and there's a huge fiasco against me, right? Now, they argue, oh, this guy's a child predator. This guy's a pedophile. This guy's a scammer. This guy's this and that. I say, what do all those things have to do with me? And why does that mean that I can't hear his side of the story? Why does that mean that the public isn't allowed to hear his side of the story, right? Does that make sense to you? Would you consider what I did immoral because I heard this guy's side of the story? I didn't have him on and say that he was telling the truth. And like I said, they were saying I was promoting him. In the end, I never even said where you could find him on Twitter or Twitch. I never said where you could find this guy. And in fact, I said where you can find the other side of the story, the very public side of the story. So did I do anything wrong? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did I do anything wrong? It's scary that you could be accused and all you did to F someone's life up and all you need. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're not going to fuck my life. It's a very small, don't take me wrong. I'm not getting crazy raided and harassed here. It's like 3-4 people. It's not a big deal. It's a total weak harassment. I can totally handle it. It's not a problem. My life's not getting screwed up. I'm good. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, why are people, even those 3-4 people coming after me? I did nothing wrong. Even that YouTuber is tweeting and lying about me, saying that I'm defending this guy, that I'm promoting a child predator, which is nothing I've ever done. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, all I wanted to know from the audience and from people watching it from their side is, what exactly is your argument that I did wrong? And they just keep coming in and telling me the things that he's done wrong. And I'm like, yeah, but that's him. And they're like, you're not listening to the victims. The point of my stream isn't to listen to the victims. It was to listen to the side of the story people are telling me can't be listened to. You know what I'm saying? The victim stories are all over the internet. BxBullet actually compiled a big list of complaints, compiled a bunch of evidence. You can go look at it anytime you want. You know what I'm saying? Totally public. Not me, not Chris. We're not telling you to not go check it out. In fact, we've promoted checking out her side of the story. I mean, the pedo accusation, like, all it takes is some to say that you're a pedo. Right, exactly. And I'm not saying there isn't any evidence of this. What I'm saying is the evidence you see sometimes seems to be missing a bit of context, sometimes seems to be explained as being more than it is. For instance, I've already said this example a bunch, but since you just came in, I'll repeat it again. For instance, there's a part in her Google document where she's compiling evidence of him being inappropriate with minors in a server, right? In a Discord server. Then she shows the screen cap to it. As she says, he knowingly gave minors his Snapchat, right? So now she shows the image of the server of him giving out a Snapchat. And what he says is @members, which, if you don't know Discord, is basically tagging everyone in the server, not just, it's not like it's specifically tagging minors. He tagged everyone in the server and said, hey guys, here's my Snapchat. Hit me up there if you want updates or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't specifically, but she phrases it in there as if he's specifically giving it to children, when he's not. These are the things that gave us suspicion. And like we've been saying from the beginning, our suspicion of this story didn't come because we heard it from Matt's side and he manipulated us. That's what she keeps going out and tweeting. Oh, people keep listening to Matt. He's very manipulative and he tricks people. He didn't trick us. We don't know him. We're still not even really on his side. We're still kind of neutral in this. Yeah. I don't know the guy enough to like befriend him or befriend. I've only talked to him live that one time. You know what I'm saying? And besides that, we've had a few DMs back and forth. That's it. Like I barely know him. So in the end, like to say that I'm standing him, to say that he's paying me, to say these lies about me and get upset about this doesn't make any sense because I didn't do any of those things. Yeah. I literally had him on to tell his perspective of what was happening in the beef between them two. You know what I'm saying? So when people come to me and they're upset and they say, hey, he scammed me out of this much money. Hey, this person's a scammer and he's this. We're not talking about that. And in fact, he admitted to some of the scams. So we've already accomplished in the stream ahead, we already accomplished the situation that he had scammed people. He had admitted it. Maybe he admitted to a smaller scam, but it's already out there. Watch out. This guy could possibly be a scam. So maybe keep an eye open. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's out there already. So to come in and keep repeating and repeating, I told them, hey, man, we're past that part of the conversation. What we're trying to establish now is his part of the story of being accused of being a child predator by BxBullet. She says he's not a pedo, but she'll say he's a child predator, which is, to me, that's basically the same thing, right? If a motherfucker is a pedo, burn him. But let's gather all the facts first before. Yeah, exactly. And if there's enough evidence, you can go to the police, right? Like, and if the police don't do anything, it's kind of. I know some people are pro going above the law sometimes, but there's a reason why we have vigilantism illegal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because people deserve due process. It's a constitutional right. Yeah, maybe you could prove some guy's a pedo. Maybe you could show that, but and you give it to the police and nothing happens. Does that mean we can go and go kill this guy or do something?
Yeah,
like maybe what it means is we could keep an eye on him, and if he tries to do something again, we're gonna catch him. You know what I'm saying? And prove it in court. But vigilantism isn't really something you could do. And I feel like this is kind of the part where it's gone. I think it's gotten to the point of vigilantism, which is what was that noise?
What happened?
Did you hear a noise? I think it might be in my headphones, maybe.
I think it maybe doubled for a second.
Is what?
Did it maybe cut for a second and then?
No, it was like a deep, like, whoa.
Oh.
I don't know what that was.
I didn't hear it.
It might be upstairs. But damn, now I lost my train of thought because of that weird noise. I was like, what the hell was that? Maybe it was my phone buzzing, and with my headset on, it sounds deeper and reverberates. Yeah, but in the end, it's kind of become a point of vigilantism where they've, if you could have this and put it to the police and there's enough evidence and you're confident on your accusation, your side of the evidence, then what's the problem of people hearing his side of the story, right? At that point, you should be confident that he's not going to do anything that would destroy your part of the story because you're confident in your part of the story. You think you have enough evidence, right? So I don't understand that part. The world needs Charles Bronson. I don't know, man. I love those movies and I love vigilante movies and superheroes and the Punisher and all that shit, but I don't actually want that for society because in the end, it is a constitutional right to have due process. And I think that if we had vigilantism, there'd be a lot of innocent people being killed accidentally thinking that they're the person, and all that shit. I mean, even with the justice system and due process, we still execute people who are innocent by accident. You know what I'm saying? So even with our system that we have to prevent that stuff, it still happens. So, I mean, we can't just leave it to the people. But again, I don't have a problem with these people sharing evidence of this guy. I don't have a problem with these people telling their story about this guy. The only issue I have is that when people want to hear his side of the story, they attack you. And I don't think that's right. I think that it is a moral imperative to hear every side of a story, right? And or at least for every side of a story to be public. It's up to the person. It's up to the public and individuals themselves if they even care. Like I said, there's probably there might have been some old lady 10 blocks ago who was raped and murdered. Maybe I might care about that because it's nearby, but it also happened 5 towns over, and I don't give a shit about that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's up to the individual if they even care. Like, I got 10 people watching. If you care enough, there's a way for you to look. Now there's a way for you to hear both sides of the story. Before, maybe there was still a way. But there was one side who was telling you not to hear the other side over and over again. Yeah. I stand by my principles. They're not going to get me to change this. They could try to flag this or whatever they want to do. I don't care. I stand by my principles. I don't think I did anything wrong. I've dared them to come and tell me what I've done wrong. And none of them can tell me what I do wrong. And in fact, they all come in and flame out and act like I've done something wrong before they can tell me what I've done that I've done wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like BxBullet. Second she comes in, why are you talking about my kid on your channel? I'm talking about public information that you put out as an accusation against someone. I'm not talking about it for the sake of wanting to talk about your child. I could care less about your child. I could care less about you. I don't know you people. I the most I know about you or your child is what's put out in public.
By
So
you.
I'm publicly criticizing what I see in public. So if you have something that's evidence against someone and you're accusing someone of someone with that evidence, I get to have a public discourse about that evidence that you're presenting. If not, why would you have presented it to the public? Right?
Yeah,
If you
exactly.
didn't want there to be a public discourse on it, you should have never presented it to the public. But the fact that you did present it to the public now leaves it up for there to be a discourse on that, right? Correct?
Yeah,
Is anybody think that what I'm saying is wrong? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like Destiny. People criticize him over his parenting, and they criticize him over his kid. They probably Photoshop his kid into disgusting things. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm saying that's an expectation of when you become a public figure, you're putting that stuff out there for people to do that to. You have to expect it. That's the way the internet is. Like right now, I had that guy on last night. Was that last night?
A couple days ago, I think.
Was that Friday? Yeah. Thursday. I had that guy on 2 nights ago, right? And what happened? I got a backlash from like 4 or 5 people. I expected that. Now, my way to combat that was, what exactly did I do wrong? Tell me. None of them have been able to tell me. They all just repeat the same cycle. He's a pedophile. Oh, he scammed people. Oh, okay.
You really need
Besides those things that he did, that you're saying he did, what did I do wrong? And they say I platformed him. I'm not an SJW. I'm not anti-platforming. I'm not the kind of guy who says Alex Jones should have been kicked out of YouTube. I'm the guy who says, let Alex Jones speak. That motherfucker's funny as hell. And I can cut him up and make fun of him. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the Young Turks, right? I don't like Jank. I don't like Anna. I don't like John Otarola. Do I say they should be taken off of YouTube? No. I say, let them be on YouTube. I get to make supercut videos out of the stupid shit they say. And it's hilarious. And my audience likes it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not for deplatforming. I don't care what a person did. You know what's funny is deplatforming isn't even the expectation. Didn't we just watch that there's a documentary about prisoners who have TikTok?
Yeah.
So if people in prison, felons in prison, still being punished for their crimes, can open up a platform and tell their side of the story, how the fuck is what I did wrong? How is TikTok not then the one doing something wrong? YouTube has people who have there's a chick in that same documentary. There's a chick who's popular on YouTube, making tons of money on YouTube. What does she do? She got out of prison, started a YouTube, and started telling her experience from prison. Telling her story of what of her life, where she went wrong, where she wronged people, her experience in life in prison. How is YouTube let her do that? Why is that okay? But I can't do that for somebody you're saying is a pedophile? Like, whether he is or not, I should still be able to have him on and ask him his side of the story, right?
Meanwhile, here's BxBullet, who says, just listen to me and I have all the facts. But then also, here's this case with Melissa Lucio, who admitted to beating her child to death. But the law system definitely has it all backwards. But somehow the law enforcement has an in with this ReignPlasma guy, and they're just, the world is against BxBullet.
No, it's not that the world is against her. It's that she builds it up that way. She makes it so that if you even question or criticize her in any way, then the world is against her. You just hate me. Remember, she just says, these guys just hate me. That's why they do this, because they hate me. Hunter was going to accept money from this guy because he hates me. No, Hunter was going to accept money from that guy because it's money. Why does he have to hate you to accept money? That's not even make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would have done it if he hated you that much. He would have done it for free, right? Which he did. He had a video where he did it for free. But the point is, he's more to take that money whether he hates you or not. You're not his friend. There's no expectation of loyalty there. Now, if, say, my friend like Sean is my friend. Now, say somebody paid me and said, I want you to make this video about Sean. I got this evidence. Sean is my friend. I would laugh in their face and be like, get that shit out of my face. And then I'd go tell Sean about it. And I'd be like, hey, some guy tried to pay me to make a video about you. You know why? Because he's my friend. There's an expectation of loyalty. If I accepted that money and made that thing, now Sean has a thing to say, I thought you were my friend. a friend wouldn't do this. Then the complaint and what I did wrong was backstab a friend, right? Now, if we're not friends, what would that complaint be, right?
Yeah.
I can't have backstabbed a friend if we're not friends, right? So then what's the complaint, right? So my friend Johnson says, if he was to say some pedo stuff, you would call him out. Yeah, exactly. And I even said in times during the conversation, I said, I don't care about certain things. Like there were certain things he was saying, like trying to change the narrative or try to argue, well, she did this, that. And I would say, I don't care about those things. You know, like, oh, she puts your kid on the internet, blah, blah. I don't care if she does that, right? Like, and I would stop him and say, I don't care that she does that. That's no concern of mine, right? Like, that's not even part of your story, right? Like, so that's no concern of mine. There were things that he said that I told him are not good. And I said, and even with the certain things that he would react to her, I would say, you should always be on the defense. You should never be on the offense. Don't attack her. Don't be offensive with her. Just defend yourself. And that's what I've done. Since they've come at me, I have not been offensive at all. My entire stance has been defensive. And that's why the entire time I'm like, well, tell me what I did wrong. Tell me what I did wrong. Everything they say that's a lie, I correct it. I show proof of it. If I don't have proof of it, I just correct it and hope my audience, the people who follow me, will see that I'm telling the truth. And, you know, the girl herself, that Alicia Chick herself, she tweeted my stream out and said, here they are streaming with this pedophile scammer, blah, blah, blah. They're lying about this person, this and that. And then I retweeted her retweet. And what did I say? I said, yes, watch the video and come to your own conclusion. Don't just read what she wrote in this tweet and trust it. Actually watch the video and come to your own conclusion. And notice, I'm not telling you what I said on the stream. I'm telling you to judge it for yourself. She's the one who's telling you what I said on the stream, as opposed to just saying, watch the stream and look what happened, right? I'm not saying that. I'm not telling you, hey, you know, watch the stream, but, you know, this happened and that happened. No, watch it. Judge it for yourself. Like, I'm not even saying she's wrong. Judge it for yourself. If you want to watch the stream and think that I did those things, go for it. But I promise you I did not. And that's not the way the stream went. All right, yeah. I guess we'll end it. I think there's some fights tonight too. We got some UFC. I think we're missing some. There's some good fights tonight. So I also probably gonna start next week's video soon. I know you guys like my super cut shit, so I gotta start the music soon. But we might be busy next week, so I don't know how much of, if I'll get it out on Thursday like I usually do. Might be a little later, but we'll see. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Again, we did nothing wrong, and I dare anyone to prove that we did. So have a good night, guys. Enjoy your Saturday. Later.